2007.
I'm gonna ask MJ to marry me.
Spider Pig. Spider Pig.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Well, now what we...
This is Sparta!
Robberies, over $400,000 in losses. He will have Ben Wade convicted and hanged.
The killer, Daniel.
There's someone I have the decency to bring him to justice. Want to come with me? Oh, you can.
So, boys, where are we headed? Taking it at 310 to Yuma.
Welcome to another episode of Quantum Recast. I'm your host, Cory, and joining me are my two co-hosts, Nick and Allie.
Hey.
Hello.
Almost called you Allison,
That's okay.
but I feel like that's what we do when you're in trouble.
Well, yeah.
Allison?
Okay.
So, hey, so if this is your first time here, well, you probably clicked on a movie title in a year that makes no sense.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
because that's what we do here. We take movies, beloved movies, sometimes our favorite, sometimes universally beloved movies, sometimes cult classics, whatever. It's our podcast. We do whatever we want.
That's right.
And we take it out of its original release year and we drop it into a new release year because we want to envision what that movie would look like if it had come out in a different year, especially the cast.
That's right.
Or Quantum Recast.
Hey.
We're going to recast 310 to Yuma, the 2007 version.
That's right.
We're taking that all the way back to 1976.
Mm-hmm.
And just be warned, we know that the 70s are precious to a lot of cinephiles out there. I don't know that describes any of us, so we might hurt some things.
We don't care, Cory.
Nope.
But we don't care about your feelings.
Forget about your feelings.
We're going to do what we
Watch
want.
That's
Fellini's
right.
8.5 and cry. But before we dive too deep, we are on all the social medias.
That's right.
Including TikTok for now.
For now.
By the time this airs, TikTok may be
Until
gone.
the government takes over it, or Meta, or whoever.
But hey, we're there, and we're on all the other ones. So engage with us. Tell us what you think. Tell us what we went wrong.
At
Tell us that
Quantum
you
Recast.
like Ghostbusters more than Ghostbusters 2 for some dumb reason. I lost that poll.
Yeah.
Hard. I think I'm the one vote.
Are you the only vote?
I voted, so if that 18% is just the one vote.
Well, maybe the listeners can be convinced by you on our minisode that's out now.
Yes, please go listen to that and revote. But before we recast this movie, we have to look at the movie itself, and then we also have to explore the year that is 1976.
Yes, that's
We have to
correct.
get a feel for both of these things. 310 to Yuma, released September 7th, 2007. There is a 1957 version, correct?
That's correct.
All right. This version was directed by James Mangold. Nick, you're the director here. Or, I mean, not the director of the episode, but you're the directed-minded guy. What else has this guy done?
Well, Cory, he's done such things as Logan, the X-Men Wolverine Hugh Jackman
The Marvel
movie.
Western, got
the
it.
Marvel Western. He also did Walk the Line, the bio-Western,
Oh.
basically.
Okay, the music Western, got it.
The Ford versus Ferrari,
Not
the
really
car
a
Western.
Yeah, okay, car Western, sure.
Sure.
and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which was really directed by Disney, let's be honest.
yeah, let's be real.
Those are the main ones, anyway. So.
I guess Ford versus Ferrari could be like a spaghetti Western.
Kinda, yeah.
Ferrari, it's
Yeah,
French.
you know.
Or Italian.
It's yeah.
It's Italian.
It's Italian.
Right? Okay, yeah, we're fine. So James Mangold, he likes westerns. Directed this. It was written it's based off of a story, Dime Western Magazine by Elmore Leonard.
That's right.
Wait, Elmore Leonard wrote this?
Yeah,
You lie.
that's what it said.
Wow.
Unless the internet's lying to
It
us.
could be lying to you.
The internet doesn't lie, guys.
It's all true, Cory.
You're right. Glenn Ford and Van Helfen wrote the 1957 version. This version that we're playing with was written by three people. Halstead Wells, Michael Brandt, and Derek Haas.
Yes, and Halstead Wells was a writer on the original 310 to Yuma. I guess there's enough of the original script in the movie that they felt they needed to give him accreditation here.
Okay, all right.
That's neat.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Budget of 48 to 55 million. That's weird. So they just can't account for like
Yeah.
$8 million. Like
It's about 48,
like $7 to $8 million.
Somewhere
It's
around.
somewhere in
Fine.
there. We forgot how much we paid Crow. Made 71.2 So not necessarily, I mean, not a failure, but not necessarily like
Right,
a
yeah.
massive
For sure.
film.
It was the #1 opening weekend though, so made 14 million, which is pretty good in September.
Because it came out in September. Nick.
Yeah. For some reason,
What else was
for
coming
some
out?
reason, people just stopped going to the movies.
It was coming. It
In
was
the fall.
competing with the horror movies of 2007.
That's true. Yeah.
One missed call.
Oh, yeah. Final Destination 3 or something. I mean, but nominated for 2 Academy Awards, none of the big ones.
No.
Those ones they hand out in the middle. Best original score and best sound mixing. And then got best cast.
It was nominated for best
Okay.
cast. Yeah, at the
Nominated,
Screen
sorry,
Actors Guild
didn't get
Awards.
it. At the SAG Awards, got nominated for best cast.
That's true.
Who did it lose to? Jeez.
No idea, but this is a
Could've
pretty
been
solid
this.
cast. So I'll have to look that
It's
up real quick.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna move on, and you tell me what cast in 2007 was.
it lost to
confuses
No
me.
Country for Old Men, by the way. That was who it lost to. So this was in that era where there was a lot of.
Wow, so it wasn't even the best Western.
Yeah. Now, hold on.
It's a Western and a neo-Western.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I still think this is the better cast. I mean, Javier Bardem killed it. but,
Yeah,
like,
he was
You got
incredible.
Tommy Lee Jones and you got Thanos. That's 3, but
Woody Harrelson.
Woody
yeah,
Harrelson,
but,
okay.
okay, let's say this. You got Javier and Brolin,
yeah,
and then you have half Jones, half Woody Harrelson.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get a big sample
Right.
of either of them.
No,
so.
yeah, that seems like it was up against American Gangster, Hairspray, and Into the Wild. I still feel like it should have topped all of them.
Into the Wild? Who's the cast? Emil Hirsch? It's about a kid that runs away from home and dies in
Well,
Alaska.
it's all these people that have like one scene. You got
Oh, yeah,
Kristen
he meets-
Stewart, Vince
he meets all the
Vaughn.
people
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah,
right, you're
Kristen
right.
Stewart.
Hal
Yeah.
Holbrook. Yeah.
Fun fact: filmed in my hometown.
Oh.
Super fun.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That is not San Diego.
That is not San Diego.
As I just
no, I'm
learned.
sorry.
Ollie's been lying her.
It's Imperial
The more
Valley.
you know.
I'm so
Entire
sorry.
friendship.
Much less impressive.
You made Cory look stupid on the internet.
I'm sorry, Cory. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Stop crying about the Rams or whoever it is.
The Chargers, Cory.
Chargers,
The
sorry.
Chargers, Cory. Come on now.
The other, whatever blue and yellow team you're mad about not being in San Diego anymore, stop crying about them. So, all right, back on track.
Yes,
Useless
focus.
critic stats for the 2007 310 Yuma. IMDb gave it a 7.6.
Interesting.
Rotten Tomatoes, a critic score of 89, and an audience score of 86. Critics love
Pretty
this.
close, yeah.
Yeah. Metacritic, again, don't know why they have a 100 and a 10 score, but 76 out of 100 and also 7.8 out of 10.
Yep.
Letterboxd, average score of 3.7 stars. All of our scores on Letterboxd, I gave it a 4.5. Allie gave it a 4.5, and Nick gave it a perfect 5 stars.
I did. Not to the rewatch. I bumped it up.
Shocking.
It
Hey,
is
all right,
very-
the rewatch
very-
got him.
The very rare 5-star.
Yeah. All right, I love it. Roger Ebert, out of 4 stars, gave it a perfect 4 stars.
He did. He gets it.
Says it restores the wounded heart of the Western and rescues it from the morass of pointless violence. Here, the quality of the acting and the thought behind the film make it seem like a vanguard of something new, even though it's a remake of a good movie 50 years old. Hey, they made it exactly 50 years, Nick. You should appreciate
It's
that.
pretty good.
You
I
love
like
that.
that.
You
I like
like-
that
you
a
like
lot.
it. It's
Yeah,
a good round
pretty,
number.
It's pretty nice.
All right. Hey, the Crow remake's coming out this year, and it's a perfect. It says 94.
Oh well.
So it's
Good thing
20
the trailer doesn't. The trailer looks promising.
It
so.
does, it does. Mangold's version is better still than the 1957 original because it has better actors with more thought behind their dialogue.
Is what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. In hard times, Americans have often turned to the Western to reset their compasses. In very hard times, it takes a very good Western and attend well to Ben Wade's last words in this movie and who he says them to and why.
So somebody brought this up. Is like, well, he talks to Christian Bale's character at the end before, spoilers, he gets shot, but. But somebody said, well, actually in the script, it says, and he says, and deep down, I'm not so bad that I can't see the virtue and righteous heroism.
All
So it seems like Ebert was just on his like, hoorah, like do the right thing kind of like mentality right now.
He loves heroes. He
does.
loves
He does.
heroes.
He loves a
Yeah.
hero.
Loves a good hero.
And this was right up his alley. I was worried that some of the violence was going to take him out of it because, he's a stickler. He's a Reagan era guy.
He is. He doesn't like blood or guts.
But he does remind me that this came out in 2007, and this was right in the middle of like the post
we're in the-
9/11
yeah, we're in the
Bush
torture
era.
porn era.
Yeah.
So this seems
Oh,
mild.
yeah.
Yeah, well, this is also, you think about There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men that we've
Yeah,
talked about.
that's fair.
It's to the point where I think Jimmy Kimmel, who was hosting the Oscars that time, was like, does Hollywood need a hug? It's like, America needed a hug, Jimmy.
And what's wild is The Dark Knight's about to just change cinema the next year to everything's dark and gritty and gross.
And then Iron Man will make it even, we'll take that and go the other way and go, no, it's going to be happy and everyone's going to make jokes and stuff.
So Hollywood went bipolar in 2000.
A little bit, yeah.
Just pick your poison. Why did we pick 310 to Yuma, Nick?
Because we love 310 to Yuma, Corey.
It's just a movie that's been on our list.
It is, yeah.
You know, it's also this. I love like dual leads in a movie.
That's fair.
It's the face off. It's just like we got a good face off out of this.
You know, it's all making sense now.
Yeah. This is just the Western face off, only they don't switch faces. But it's just two
Could you imagine?
A-list leading men starring opposite each other.
That's right, yeah.
When were we ever going to get Bale and Crow again?
I don't know.
Did we? I'm going to feel stupid. if it's
Well,
happened.
they were in Thor 4, but they never really talked to each other.
Yeah,
even
that's
though
different.
Christian Bale was a quote-unquote god butcher in it.
Oh,
But that's
man.
because Taika Waititi was a bad writer and unhinged at that time. So.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, agree with that.
So that's the simple reason we're picking it.
No, I mean, I think because it's one of the few modern westerns that I really connected to. Obviously, especially the second time through, but because a lot of them they either try to like be like the old westerns, or they try to be like we're the new hip western. Like there was like that one with Usher and Ashton Kutcher that came out in the early 2000s, and the Texas Rangers,
You're
where it's
talking
like,
What?
about that weird like
Yeah.
Western Renaissance in
Yeah.
the early 2000s.
oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have-
James Vanderbeek had one.
Mhm.
It's like they tried to do it like a Young Guns revival. Like it's like
Yeah.
look at all the pretty guys in Hollywood right now. Let's throw them in a western.
And I think I don't know if this was the one that did it, but then they kind of went, okay, let's make our westerns gritty and make them a little rough around the edges. It's probably around this time. I can't think of too many others. Like there's a Viggo Mortensen starring one that came out around this time as well. But there's just it kind of started this era of like, okay, we're gonna make some gritty westerns that appeal a little bit more to like the way the West really was, kind of thing. So the westerns had their own gritty reboot. Corey, everybody did.
Yeah,
Batman, James Bond, westerns.
you know why the early 2000s ones didn't work?
Why?
Freddie Prinze wasn't in any of them.
I mean, you're right. Yeah,
He steered clear to the westerns.
he did.
and so they just didn't work.
He wanted to make more Scooby-Doo movies, Corey.
Rightfully so.
'Cause Scooby-Doo's a winner.
That's right. He's not a loser. He solves the mystery. 30 minutes or less.
But like, so I think the question is, let's go around the table. Do we love westerns? Are you guys westerns fans or?
All right, so I'm gonna have a little confessional right here. So this is maybe the second or third Western I've ever seen.
Ever?
Yeah, I've seen the True Grit remake. I've seen 310 to Yuma now, and apparently, and I don't know how much I agree with this, but yesterday at work I found out that The Revenant is considered to be a Western.
Yeah, it is, but it's weirdly it is and isn't. It's
Yeah.
just it doesn't have the typical tropes of like a
It's
western.
frontier.
Yeah.
That's what
It's like
yeah.
the new frontier and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I just, if I'm being honest, I never really had a true interest in watching westerns. But after seeing 310 to Yuma, I'm willing to give them another shot. But yeah, there are very very few westerns I've seen. But yeah.
Well, your boy Nick growing up.
Yeah, I'm curious here.
Oh goodness.
There were when it came to live action movies, guys, there was only a few options on the table, and when Dad had the remote or the VCR player, more or less it was going to be a John Wayne movie. So I grew up watching many John Wayne movies. So I'm deeply entrenched in some westerns. Now, granted, that was when I was like 10 or younger, so a lot of them I don't remember as well, but that was mostly what I watched, was a lot of John Wayne. And that's a hard conversation to have with your father who idolizes John Wayne, that John Wayne's kind of a dirtbag racist piece of crap, but we're not going to have that conversation yet. It's not time. I don't think it'll ever be a time, Corey.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
I say all that, like, yeah, they were fine. I can appreciate them for sure.
That's
And
fair.
I think that's why I liked the more modern westerns, is because they're just more aesthetically in my range of like what I enjoy, for sure.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I don't love westerns.
It's hard.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have necessarily your experience where they were on in my house a lot because my dad didn't really like movies. Like it wasn't like movies were a thing in my home outside of me.
Yeah.
And so, but like I had a grandfather and some uncles that were like, they had every Louis L'Amour book in the world, and they idolized westerns in that like weird
Yeah.
way. I have a great uncle who's like a renowned cowboy poet in Oklahoma.
That just sounds cool.
And it's like he's very like into like tracing the family tree back. Or if you go to like my great grandfather's side, it's like all lawmen, and
Okay.
they were all sheriffs. And,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, okay.
those type of guys. And then his grandmother, my great grandma, her side went to like Native, and so he like likes to write on this whole cowboy v Indian like bloodline he has that we come from, and which is, I'm sure, who knows how much of he just makes up for poetry, but still, like I feel like I grew up around it and the cowboy hats and the boots and stuff, and I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I feel like we just kind of grew up around it, Corey. Like in Oklahoma, there's, either like you're like me that kind of grew up on a farm for the first 10 years, or your friends are people that their parents or families have owned ranches for years or decades. And so like cowboy culture it's just kind of, Western culture has always kind of just been around us. So I feel like we're very close to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I think it's just growing up around like uncles and again grandparents that wore the cowboy hats and the boots, and then you also like see this stuff though, and you're like, well, you're not a cowboy.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
You don't have a 6-shooter, and you don't go to a saloon, and I've never seen you on a horse. It's that type of thing, and so it's just kind of like this is more of an aesthetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you grow up and you realize like, oh no, it's just part of like the history of this area, I guess, whatever, and stuff. And obviously, being Oklahoma, we're we have an actual like more clear picture of the Native American experience, and it's honestly tragic story. Which, when we were in school, they taught us that. Now I don't know what they do.
I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure Oklahoma is trying to erase that from books. Well,
I think that's kind of the divide of westerns is like like you were talking about. We enjoy movies that have a more multi-layered characters and that maybe they're broken figures. And our dads and granddads and anybody that liked the old westerns, they wanted the white-hatted cowboy.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like 310 Yuma a lot. Obviously, Christian Bale's character, Dan Evans, is a broken character. Clint Eastwood's in Unforgiven is this broken, washed up cowboy. High Noon, Gary Cooper's a terrified sheriff, because someone's coming to kill him. I mean, they're more broken, they're more flawed.
Communism's coming to kill him, Cory.
Yeah, they're not like the guys doing all the gun tricks. It's, you know, as much as like I do like a movie like Tombstone because it's quotable and that was a Western when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's still like, I don't love that as much because it's like, I never really feel like Wyatt Earp or Doc Holliday are any like real danger because it's like, they're the two deadly guys. They're the two best guys.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I like 310 Yuma because they flip it because Ben Wade and Charlie Prince are the two fastest guns in the West. They're the prototypical cowboy, and they're the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Evans is this broken, like, one-legged cattle rancher.
That's just trying to make ends meet,
pawn his wife's brooch just to pay to, like, keep his farm in the bank, try to take it. And at the end, it's heartbreaking when it's just, like, he tells you, like, what happened to his leg.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, he just got friendly fire shot off, and my kid hates me for it. Like, I'm a disappointment to him. And it's like, that's good. That's fast. That's like, it's multifaceted, and that's a good Western.
And not to, this might be the moment to talk about it, but I did watch the original 57 version, and it's very much the old school white hat, black hat, cowboy kind of world. And the ending is different.
Oh.
They changed it. So in the end of the original one, they both get on the train and they get away. And like the wife actually shows up in town to try to stop Dan from doing anything. And then so when they get on the train, like she's waiting down the row with Butterfield and they're just waving them on like, you did it, yay. And the music plays and like they've got this 310 Yuma song that's playing and like the rain comes finally because they've been waiting on rain. Like it's a picture perfect ending.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like the 50s had rules.
Yeah.
They're like, no, the villain can't win.
You can't kill the hero at the last 2 minutes. Yeah.
Well, I am glad that they changed the ending then for the 2007. It makes it so much better, in my opinion.
No, I think that's kind of the brilliant stroke about it is like, you go this whole way and it kind of leads you to believe like somehow, some way, even though it's very like, even though through the second watch, you're like, this is kind of ridiculous that they're going to get to the train. And like the fact that he gets shot right at the end is just gut wrenching because he's like proven himself to his son, to everybody in town. Like he's pretty much secured the bag.
Yeah.
And then you think he's going to get away and old Ben Foster just isn't going to have any of that.
Nope.
What an ass. But like, no, I think that's why I like that we're doing this Western. We don't tackle them a whole lot. We have done Tombstone.
Yeah, we've done Tombstone. Right? Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So we're tackling this one because, again, it flips the whole tropes kind of on its head, which I love. And not to mention, it's Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
How can you be mad about
Ben
that?
Foster.
Yeah.
Really good performances all around.
It's an incredible hat trick.
And then also a weird cameo with Luke Wilson.
Yeah, Luke Wilson just shows up.
Just out of nowhere. It was like, wait a second.
To play the most racist character.
Throws you off pretty hard.
Yeah.
That's probably why they didn't win Best Cast.
They're like,
it's almost perfect, but then you put Luke Wilson.
Would have been better if they had Owen Wilson.
No, none of the not unless it's the third Wilson that doesn't show up that often.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
where we wouldn't have known had we read the trivia. Yeah. Oh, that was the Wilson brother. Oh, he did so good.
The one that's like the roller derby coach and Whip It, like that Wilson. That would have been fine.
Okay,
but instead,
that's fair. That's fair.
It's also got like some weird like cameos of like Vanessa Shaw, who was like this it girl of the 90s.
Yeah,
just shows up. Hocus Pocus obviously was.
If
her
you don't
big
know,
thing. I remember her from a Rodney Dangerfield movie where he dresses his stepson up as a girl to like put him on his corporate girls soccer team to win to get a promotion. It's a very 80s movie called Ladybugs.
What in the world?
80s were wild.
It's incredible. And Johnny Whitworth's in it, which is AJ from Empire Records. He gets shot in the throat like immediately in the movie.
That's right. Okay.
But every time I watch it, I forget it's him until it shows him. I'm like, oh, that's AJ from Empire Records. This is great.
And he's dead.
And then I guess Logan Lerman, Peter Fonda, Alan Tudyk's in the movie too.
Yeah.
Care.
Oh yeah, Alan Tudyk also caught me off guard. Yeah.
She's like, is that Alan Tudyk? I was like, yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. Sci-fi boy taking a romp in the Western here.
Apparently, Russell Crowe suggested him to James Mangold. So
Really?
we have
Tudyk?
yeah, Tudyk.
Man, that's
Listen.
a pretty big deal.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's a big deal.
That's a brag.
It is a brag.
I would tell my wife immediately, like, "Oh, Russell Crowe put me up for a movie. What have you done today?" I have no idea if Alan Tudyk's married or who his wife is, if he is, and I'm sure she's lovely. But yeah, so that's why we picked this movie. That means we got to dissect this year, right?
Yeah, where are we taking it to? 76, right?
1976. All right. So we need to get a feel for this for this year. We know the decade. It's the 70s. Pretty pretentious.
Very lauded 80s.
You know, we got Scorsese coming in. Spielberg, he's coming at the end, right?
Yes.
It made-
Spielberg mixes midway.
Yeah.
You know, Jaws is coming out the year before.
Really? Is it
Yeah.
75?
Yeah, Jaws is 75.
75.
Man. All right. Never mind.
Allie would know.
Yes, I
Spielberg's-
would.
Yeah, she's our resident Spielberg expert
Oh.
/ John Williams expert.
I'll take that one.
So, all right. So we need to see what the people were watching. So what the box office, the top 10 at the box office worldwide for movies released in 1976. Coming in at number 10 was the OG The Bad News Bears with Walter Matthau. Midway coming in at number 9, the Charlton Heston Henry Fonda flick. Number 8, The Enforcer is this is Dirty Harry.
Yeah, it's a Dirty Harry.
Oh, dude,
He's
this
stopping
is-
Vietnamese veteran terrorists, Cory.
Yeah, The Enforcers, it's pretty good. It's pretty good as far as Dirty Harry movies go. The Omen coming in at number 7, not 666. That would have been way better.
Way
The Omen,
better.
you should have just done
It's a
one
shame.
better. Gregory Peck, obviously in a very scary Antichrist movie. All the President's Men. This is a big one with Redford and Dustin Hoffman.
That's right.
At their peak.
Oh,
true.
dang.
Man, all
Taking
right.
down Nixon.
Number 5, Silver Streak, another great duo of the 70s, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, in one of those fun cross-country movies. King Kong coming in at number 4. That is wild.
Not
that
as bad-
76's King Kong is number 4.
Not as bad as you think. I did actually end up watching it.
Not as bad as you think, but still, it's King Kong, the 70s King Kong. It's usually ranked pretty low as far as the King Kong movies go.
Sure, but I was surprised at how decent it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's Jeff Bridges.
And Jessica Lange was a babe in it, so.
Yeah. Number 3, I think either the third or fourth version of A Star Is Born.
This is the Christopherson and Barbara Streisand version?
Personally, my favorite. It
Okay,
is my favorite
all
of A Star Is Born.
Well, when he rides a bike
verse.
onto the stage, he doesn't get much cooler than that. So.
And that's because Chris Christopherson was genuinely a drunken buffoon
That's
in
true,
the 70s.
yeah.
He was, I don't think he was acting. I think they just followed him around with a camera on tour.
Keep rolling.
Number 2, To Fly. No, what is this?
It's not the first IMAX movie, but it's like the one that put IMAX on the map. It's basically the one they put in the Smithsonian when they relaunched one of its buildings.
That is wild.
it's
It's just the number two movie.
So many people went to watch this IMAX thing.
We were recording the box office is like in the 1910s. It would have been The Train.
Yeah. This is literally it's literally just like this 45-minute video where it starts with they have these old-timey people and they're going up in a hot air balloon. It just shows the journey from flight to the Wright brothers to space.
But you're in IMAX, so you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
This is the future of movies. Nope, they're still hard to find. IMAXs are not everywhere at all.
Exactly.
So, Rocky coming in at number 1. Stallone comes onto the scene in a big way.
That's
with
right.
Rocky.
It's a good
He
one.
bet it all.
Man, almost
so good.
like a perfect movie. So we will try our darndest not to touch Rocky.
You totally have Stallone in your back pocket. I
No
know it.
promises. All right. So what were the cinephiles rooting for in the 70s? So we got to go to the Oscars. Best Supporting Actress in 1976 was Beatrice Straight for Network. Supporting Actor was Jason Robards for All the President's Men. Actress Faye Dunaway for Network. And of course, actor, we've already said it twice, was Peter Finch in Network.
Posthumously? How do we say that?
I believe so,
Yeah.
posthumously.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Best Picture nominees were Taxi Driver, Network, Bound for Glory, All the President's Men, and, of course, the winner, Rocky.
He did it. Adrian, he did it.
Bless.
Yeah, he did it. And it's wild, too, because Network, All President's Men, and Rocky were top 10 movies, and yet the Oscars loved them.
That's a murderer's row of solid movies right there,
Yeah.
classics, I mean, you're looking at the Network is known for its big performances. Taxi Driver is Scorsese's really big movie with De Niro, and then All the President's Men is just star-studded.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. Notable movies: Pink Panther, Strikes Again, Marathon Man, Outlaw, Josie Wales. So we're bringing it into. By the way, we're bringing 310 to Yuma into Eastwood's territory here.
We are.
Yep.
Into his.
It's
big-
also the last year of John Wayne. It's his last movie, The Shootist.
Yep, The Shootist, The Last Tycoon with De Niro, Logan's Run. A lot of
Yeah.
sci-fi and suspense.
For sure.
Essentially. All right, do you guys have any notable films from 1976 that you just love?
I don't have any that I love, but I mean,
It's like, not really.
The way I say that,
What a dumb year.
a lot of movies that I have seen, we've already talked about. So
Okay.
I'll talk about the movie that I would like to see.
Okay.
So one that I would like to see is The Man Who Fell to Earth. It's the David Bowie movie, just because it sounds like a wild experience. Like he's an alien, I guess, that comes down to Earth or something.
Yeah, this is a weird time for music movies in the 70s. You
Yeah.
had Tommy, the Who movie, Mick Jagger's acting, Led Zeppelin did the All Shall Remain the Same or whatever it is this
Oh,
year.
okay.
That's a weird movie. So yeah. Naturally Bowie would make one.
Why not?
But
Yeah.
he stuck around.
Yeah,
stuck around.
he liked it. He kept
He had
going.
longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Allie, you got anything?
I do. So one that I've seen many, many times. It's one of my favorite horror movies is Carrie, starring Sissy Spacek. It's fantastic. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Piper Laurie nominated for an Oscar? And it's one of the few Oscars that has been given to somebody within a horror movie. If I'm not mistaken, I could be
Like a
completely...
nomination, you mean?
I want to say she won it. Yeah,
Well,
she
I
was...
just read the winners.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. No, she didn't win that. No, it was something else that she
Well,
was...
Sissy Spacek was nominated for Carrie.
Maybe that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking
she got the
of.
nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
There were- I
Mhm.
wanna
And
say-
Piper Laurie was nominated as well. but they
Okay,
both
that's what I
lost
was
out,
thinking of,
so
was
yeah.
Piper Laurie. Yeah. She
So, yeah,
was
it-
nominated, my
It's
bad.
crazy that they both were nominated for.
That is wild.
And rightfully so, in my opinion. But yeah,
Mhm.
Carrie is a fantastic movie. I mean, the ending is iconic, and yeah,
It's
and
De Palma. It's straight De Palma.
Yeah.
It's De Palma, so
Yeah.
the Oscars were like, cool, we'll honor it. And then they said, it's not horror, it's an allegory for
For teenage.
demonstration.
Yeah.
You know, for a woman becoming a woman and all the changes happening and how hard it is to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
It's not a horror movie.
No.
guy. But
So-
yes,
But yeah, no, I did not know that about Carrie. How do you feel about the remake?
haven't seen it
Okay.
on purpose.
Did you watch The Rage Carrie 2, the 90s sequel?
I tend to steer away from
It's
horror
incredible.
sequels. Is it actually is
love
it
it.
actually good, or is it just?
I love it. I could do it in defense of the sequel to Carrie 2. The Rage is better than Carrie.
Well,
Oh, well, I guess
tune
I'll
in
watch
this
it.
Halloween,
Yeah.
guys.
No, actually, that would be a really tough sell. I'll have to work on it. I chose Murder by Death. It's
Okay.
this really weird, like, kind of like, it's not a spoof movie. It's not like Mel Brooks, but it is kind of making fun of like the detective,
Okay.
like thing. Like Alec Guinness is in it, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's just
Ah.
like all these like actors at the time are playing kind of like these spoofs of famous detectives, and they're trying to solve a murder in a house, and it's great.
Okay.
I love it.
Interesting.
It's really fun.
Hmm,
It's kind of
interesting.
it's weirdly British, so I'm into it.
Yeah.
So.
I like it. Well, Corey, we have one last question, I think, before we jump into this casting, and that's how does this movie change?
Oh, none.
I don't
right?
think it. I don't really think it does. Like, because
No.
you could make the argument that it's like, well, would they make it more like the traditional Western? But we're talking about the '70s, where this is where we're getting real auteur choices and stuff going on, and we're
Yeah.
getting into some dark material. Like, I mean, All the President's Men, Network. Like, it's putting a magnifying glass into society in all these different genres and stuff. So I don't think it really changes all that much. I think it really fits really well in '76, and that's kind of why I think we moved it here. It was really
Yeah.
like it just.
Scorsese's dirtied up the waters of Hollywood. You can bring this gritty kind of like non-traditional Western here and like compete with Eastwood's more like
Yeah.
man with no name
Well, it's
coming into town and cleaning it up.
Right. Well, I mean, you're talking about the same year of The Outlaw Josie Wales and The Shootist. Both the two biggest Western stars both have significant movies of very, very different styles, and it's the end of one and kind of like the mid like back end of the other end.
So we're just saying that they could be possibly handing off the baton to our 310 to Yuma.
Potentially,
76,
potentially,
310 to
yeah.
Yuma. That's if you guys don't blow what's coming up, which is the casting.
Well, we'll see.
Eastwood and John Wayne are making movies this year, guys.
kind of sacrosanct movies,
Please
by the way.
don't screw this up. So, no, I think that's our thing with period movies in general. It's really hard to say that they change because
Yeah.
we're not really worried about technology. We're not really worried. It's just the aesthetic is there.
Yeah.
It's not hard to recreate the West.
Really, the question
in the
just becomes like, okay, with a modern movie like this where there's more violence or like there's a little more scantily clad moments, you're kind of like, okay, does that fit? But in the 70s, it does, I feel like, for sure.
That's true. You see Vanessa Shaw's pelvic bone.
That's right.
It's
It's a pelvic bone.
Pretty risque. Listen, A Clockwork Orange has come out by now, hasn't it?
Yeah, those early
we've shown
70s.
a
Yeah.
lot.
There's been a lot that's gone on in this decade.
Kubrick's blown the door off that. We've seen everything, so we can see some pelvic bone. It's fine.
I mean, Carrie has straight up naked women all in
That's
the
true.
opening
That's true.
beginning
Yeah.
of the movie.
It's true.
The first like 5 minutes is
True.
yeah.
We can show more than pelvic bone, Nick, if you
You
want.
can. Yeah, you can.
We can go hard. All right. Okay, cool. We can go hard R here in 76. Nothing changes. We're just getting dirtier. That's all that's happening. All right. So that means we're going to cast this movie.
All right.
We're going to take 310 Yuma straight out of 2007 and take it to 76. I know it pisses Nick off that we were 1 year off of just a clean...
It's fine. Listen, if we had tried 77, it's just Star Wars, and it's a completely different world.
Westerns have gone to space.
Yeah. Flash Gordon.
No one wants to see six shooters anymore. They want light swords.
We want to see the moon.
We want lasers.
We want a bad guy in a helmet.
1976. Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
You talking to me?
All season long, you've been laughed at.
Just follow the money.
What, Rocky?
So I'm directing this, which means I will be choosing between your two picks. We've created essentially two casts here. We have a 30 seconds or less cast, which is roles that are a little smaller. Maybe we just don't have time to talk about them because you, the listener, has a life. And then we're going to mainly tackle 6 to 7 top roles that we'll actually discuss why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Right. But there are rules. You two are bound to rules here. You can't just go casting willy-nilly in 1976.
We can't.
Rule number 1.
Unfortunately.
Whoever you cast in 1976 as 310 Yuma must be alive in 1976.
Okay.
It's fair.
Rule number 2, anyone you cast in 76 as 310 Yuma must be free to do so. They cannot be in prison or anything of that nature. They have to be
Prisoners of war.
able to show up on set.
Got it.
Is what we're saying.
Makes sense.
Rule number 3, anyone you cast must have an acting credit in 1976. They must have already been acting. We define that as having at least 1 credit in 1976 or prior to.
That's right.
Now, again, we do have 1 teenage role here. We do get a little loose there if you can just cast a teenager that has been acting around the time in a respectable buffer.
Relatively close.
Yes, usually good 3 to 4 year birth.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And that's just because casting children and teenagers is hard.
Is really
It's
hard.
tough.
Because they won and done it. Charlie from Willy Wonka. It's like, oh, come on, man, you've had chops.
He did.
He did.
You want to go deliver
Threw
baby
it all-
cows as a large animal? What's the matter with you?
Threw it all away.
Get it, fame and fortune, man.
The worst.
All right, so those are your rules. Oh, and rule number 4.
Rule number 4.
Sorry, rule number 4. It's the big one. This is why you can't go casting willy-nilly in 1976. Anyone you cast in 1976 as 310 Yuma will lose all major acting credits that they're in 1976.
So choose wisely.
So you people, the listener, may be going, oh, this is easy. This is Hoffman and Redford. Let's
And
just
we're
double
getting
up.
Eastwood,
You
we're
can't,
getting
'cause then
John
you
Wayne.
kill
Yeah.
those movies. So, nope, you have to try to find free agents or be willing to pull them out of movies that they're already in.
That's right.
And now we don't count directing, Broadway, TV, anything like that. We don't have that.
It's too
kind of
hard.
time.
Too much
That's-
research.
That's too much research. If you people start paying us to do this, then we'll tighten
We'll
the rules
consider
up.
it. Yeah.
So, me, the director, I have 2 power-ups, just to instill some order in this chaos. The first power-up is at any point, I can retroactively change any 2 actors that have been placed on the board in their respective roles. If I just, hey, this looks a little better here, I can move those 2 actors at any time.
The
once they've
old
been played.
switcheroo.
The old switcheroo. The other one, the big one. At any point, I can invoke the override, but that must be done in the casting of the character. Cannot be done retroactively. Must happen on the spot. And that's where I tell you both did a bad job, and I put my own actor in.
Oh, there we go.
I can only do it once, and so please do well at the bottom and don't make me do it early.
Got it.
So
I will do my best.
Can't promise anything.
I'm a little nervous here. I didn't really think about the whole Eastwood Wayne thing. We
It's
could,
pretty.
we could screw this up. I'm stretching now.
You could. You could get a good stretch in.
Like,
There's a lot to mess up here, Corey.
normally the movies we do doesn't have that much stakes, but we have competition this year. All right. Okay, cool. So we have to start with our below the line cast. Again, these are characters we love and we think they're great, but either their screen time is small or we just have to be respectful of time here. And those characters are Emma Nelson, played by Vanessa Shaw, Tucker, played by Kevin Durand. Nick originally had Kevin Durant.
It was an autocorrect. It was not me.
To assure him that Kevin Durant, the current NBA star, was not in 310 Yuma.
My computer betrayed me. All right.
I think he was in college, maybe.
No, he was not even
He was
existing.
not even in college. All
No,
right.
His father may have been in college.
So, in 2007?
in 1976.
I'm
Oh, yeah, no,
reading the
okay, I
cast
get what
from
you're saying.
2000.
Yeah.
I was like,
He would have been playing for the Thunder at that point.
He was like in,
He would have been
in 08, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, see, I know sports, Ball.
2006, 2007 was his year at Texas, and then
I said in college. Yeah.
in college,
All right.
yeah.
You tell the
You're
listeners
correct.
Cory was right.
He was drafted in 2007 with the first round, second overall pick.
Yeah, so the 2007, 2008 season was his
Greg
rookie
Oden
year.
was above him.
I'm a man.
Mistake.
I'm a man and I know sports. All right, sorry. From the top, Emma Nelson, played by Vanessa Shaw. Tucker, played by Kevin Durand. Zeke, played by Luke Wilson. And Byron McElroy, played by Peter Fonda. And then topping it off, it was hard to move this guy to the bottom, but we had to do it. Doc Potter, the vet, played by Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
So, this is how this works. I'm just going to name a role and we'll speed cast this.
Yeah.
You're not bound to the rules here on the below the line.
That's good.
So you can
this is
cast
very
willy-nilly
good for
here
me.
because we just say that these roles just, hey, they could show up and do these in a couple of days.
Come in for a few days,
Yeah.
have a nice couple scenes, move on.
All right. Okay, so, Allie, I'm going to let you go first.
All right.
All right. Ready, set, go. Emma Nelson.
Faye Dunaway.
Ooh.
Nick.
Margot Kidder.
I thought about her.
I'm going Faye Dunaway.
Yes.
Tucker.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh. Pull out Jack early. I picked Ed Lauder from The Longest Yard fame.
Oh, Ed Lauder. He kind of looks like Kevin Durant.
Right.
Yeah. And he's
you're,
got
you're
a
digging
dick.
it. Yeah, he's a major dick. He's
Yeah.
a prison guard captain. Yeah.
All right. I mean, at the end, he can't shoot Paul Cruz. So
That's
I mean,
right. He
an
comes
arm.
around.
He has an
Yeah.
arm. All right. But no, we're gonna go with your guy,
Okay. All right. Okay.
Zeke.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, I see what she's doing here.
okay.
Okay. Pulling out the big guns for these small
Yeah.
roles. Okay. Wow. I went with Jack Palance. Most people know him from City Slickers, but he was a old Western star.
Okay, you aged up there. Huh.
The voice, the gruff. I mean, both have the gruff.
I'm gonna go
I was
Jack
about to
Palance.
say.
I feel like I feel like Clint Eastwood would just tell us no. I feel like he would turn us
It's a
down.
no for me.
That's
This is
fair.
the first time I've ever had to say in our hypothetical casting that I think the actor would hypothetically
Would just
just
not.
tell us no.
Respectfully, no.
He's like, that sounds great, but I'm a huge deal. There's a Western and I'm not the star?
I'm only in it for I'm a racist jerk.
Huh.
That comes later. So
All right. Byron McElroy.
Now y'all are making me question everything. I'm whipping out another one, old John Wayne.
I see what
It's a
she
little
did here.
cameo,
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Okay. For Byron, I'm bringing. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely screwed up, but I'm just gonna flip it anyway. Bruce Dern.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
You did. You got yours backwards.
I did.
Didn't
I
you?
mixed them
Yeah,
up.
Bruce
I did.
Dern was your racist,
That
wasn't
was,
he?
yeah,
'Cause
he was.
He would play a good
100%.
racist.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going. Okay, Allie, just to get you some more comment, I'm going with John Wayne here. He's
Oh my-
at the end of his career. He might show up to do us this favor.
As
He's,
long
he's
as you're
gonna
not.
put over the next guy.
Yeah, and he sort of agrees with some of the ideologies coming out in the movie. So, and I like him playing the aged lawman.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
And we see him thrown off a cliff.
I'll take the pity vote.
It's not the pity
I'm
vote.
just kidding,
I
I'm just
actually
kidding.
like it here.
One more to go.
Doc Potter.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, pull out the old walk-in. Okay.
Okay.
it could be fun.
Corey, I'm gonna tug at your heartstrings and bring you Michael Palin.
Michael Palin.
Oh well.
Michael Palin. Oh my gosh, that one would hurt.
It's gonna
when
hurt.
he
Corey.
dies?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt hard.
Being a hero? Oh, that hurts. But that's gonna hit. That's
He's
gonna hit
gonna-
in the right way.
Oh yeah, you're gonna feel that.
I
For
love
those
Michael
that don't know, Michael Palin is
Monty Python.
Yes.
The most
Oh.
talented of the Monty Python, in my
Oh,
opinion.
Allie's like, oh,
Nick cheated.
It's rare I will not pick Michael Palin when he is on the board.
Dang it.
So,
Whatever.
and it's cool. We just did Holy Grail. It's done. We're free this year.
nothing got ruined.
No, we're fine. So okay, I like that. Oh man. Let's see here. All right. Just recapping. For Emma Nelson, we have Faye Dunaway. For Tucker, we have Ed Lauder. For Zeke, we have Jack Palance. For Byron McElroy, we have John Wayne. And for Doc Potter, we're bringing in Michael Palin.
That's right.
I'm digging this. I'm liking this. Guys, how did y'all feel about Peter Fonda in this movie? I didn't love him in this movie.
He was
He was
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
I think
wasn't
he's-
really a standout to me
I think
personally.
he served the role fine. Like you want the grumpy old guy who clearly had a questionable checkered past, and that's what Russell Crowe's character is pointing out. Ben Wade's like, hey, you think you're talking to me like I'm the problems. Like
Yeah.
you've done worse things or done just as bad things.
I just feel like in rewatching it, I was like, I don't love Peter Fonda here.
Oh.
I'm just like,
Yeah, it's fine.
it feels like a caricature in a movie that's kind of fighting caricatures.
I got you. I get
That's,
you
I
saying.
think that's
I
what
can
it
see
is.
that.
I'm just
Okay.
like,
That makes sense.
Yeah, you're gonna get a little Rooster Cogburn here with John Wayne, just kind of also Some searchers with some Rooster Cogburn John Wayne right here. A little racist, a little problematic.
Yeah.
He gets thrown off
he
a
gets
ditch.
thrown off a cliff, and that's just going to throw everyone
They're gonna be
completely
John
off.
Wayne died?
I like that
He
we
dies
pitted,
twice
I like
in
that
this
we
year.
pitted Wayne with Bruce Dern, considering Bruce Dern's actual career took a hit because he's the guy that killed John
That's
Wayne.
right. That's
Oh,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
people hated him.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know
it's-
that.
In The Shootist, it's his last movie, and he gets shot in the back, and everyone's like, "You're the dude that shot John Wayne in the
wow.
back. You
Yeah,
killed
And
John
like took
Wayne."
it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
wow.
Bruce
Okay.
Dern's career took kind of a weird hit a little
That's
bit.
so
It's like, you can't
strange.
cast you shot John Wayne in the back, and he's like, I didn't. It's a movie.
No, it was real. It's like wrestling in the 70s, Corey. That shit was real.
Oh man. But for the record, director James Mangold originally wanted Chris Christopherson as Byron
I
McElroy
saw
in
that.
2007, and that would have I would have liked that a little bit more, I think.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because again, it's Chris Christopherson. It would have just been, is he even acting?
No, they just rolled the camera.
Or did he actually just wander on a set on a horse, dressed like a cowboy, kind of drunk? And you're like, he's probably actually been shot before. So, going to the top, we're going to cast our top 6 roles here for the movie, which will be starting off with Alice Evans, going to Grayson Butterfield, going to Charlie Prince, then up to our top 3, William Evans, Dan Evans, and Ben Wade. So, starting with Alice Evans.
For God's sake, he's killed more men than the drought.
He's not what I expected.
He's dangerous. Dangerous is what he is, Alice.
And Wade has a gang. And they're out there tonight, somewhere.
If I don't go, we gotta pack up and leave. And God knows where without a prayer third board.
Played by Gretchen Mol. She's Dan Evans' wife. She's
Yep.
sticking with him through the hard times.
Yeah,
You know?
and she's only in the movie on the front end, but she's a topic of discussion and
Throughout the whole
part
film,
of the
yeah.
motivation throughout the whole thing.
It's all motivation. He's,
Yeah.
You know, she's sticking with her man through the tough times, and he's gonna go save this farm. Damn it.
Yeah,
And, and obviously, Russell Crowe uses. He flirts with her in that scene, tries to throw the insecurity on to Dan Evans, who's already insecure enough. He's got one leg and he's losing his farm.
and she again, we're talking about how this movie goes against like the tropes of westerns, and in the original, the Alice character is just very much the supportive wife that's just like, oh well, and like isn't really that interested. She's just kind of taken aback by him, but there's not that moment where you're like, oh, she kind of digs him a little bit. That's weird, kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's kind of a badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty sure if like things go south, she's gonna hold her own.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Nick, I'll let you go first up top.
I was just going to also know, if you don't know Gretchen Mol, she was in a TV show called The 13th Floor. She was in Manchester by the Sea, and she's also in Boardwalk Empire. So not a well-known name, but she does really well here, I think. So, but for my
I've seen
pick,
none of it.
yeah, I'm familiar with Boardwalk Empire, Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, same.
Corey, I'm gonna go with somebody you know. They get a big boost in the A-lister world after this year in
Okay.
Smokey and the Bandit.
So we're getting them first.
We're getting her first, and we're getting Sally Field, Corey.
God dang it.
Nothing
Nick.
is more American,
Bro.
American humble pie, homestead wife than Sally Field, and she's gonna bring it. She's got some spunk to her.
Sally Field's my hall pass, man. Like even right now at like whatever 77 or however
You were
she is.
having a good time at the Oscars when she showed up.
I was pumped, and my wife just rolled her eyes. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Sally Field's a babe," and to this day is a babe.
Allie is shaking her head. She's giving me a look.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance.
I mean,
I don't see
I'm
the point
fair
in even
here.
going.
I'm fair here. I will listen to what you have to say, but it's Sally Field.
Here's the deal. I was going to choose Sally Field, but I was like, no, I know that Corey would automatically choose Sally Field, so I'm going to try and go with somebody else. I kid you not.
She's saying,
but
Nick,
I'm not going
Nick
to be
with the layup.
I'm not going to be like Nick
2 points.
and cast 2 actors that are 2 of Corey's favorites. Sorry that I was trying to think outside the box.
Wow, Nick, you're
She's
being
coming
called
for
out.
me.
You're being
Wow.
called out.
Wow. Listen.
Bruh.
But she does, outside of Corey's, like, I forget how much of a crush she has on her, but I do think that, like, she's 30 years old here. I think she can play the role very well, and she's not just going to be like the pushover kind of wife that's just kind of like, oh no, what are we going to do? And she's
gosh,
going to,
no.
yeah, she's going to push back against.
We're gonna get some early Steel Magnolias here.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
not. She's the matriarch
Yeah,
of
for
this
sure.
family.
Well, all right. Well, I'm giving you Madeline Kahn.
Madeline
She
Kahn.
was 30. I'm sorry. Yeah, 34. I thought that she would be a lot of fun, but
We gotta sell it, Allie.
Okay, all right. So Madeline
come
Kahn,
on.
here's the deal. So first off, I think she's a fantastic actress who unfortunately went way too early, R.I.P. But I think that she would be able to portray Alice Evans pretty well and be able to hold down the fort, like you guys have said, and just deliver a performance that would be, she delivers a lot of performances throughout her career that are really memorable. And I
Blazing
think this could be-
Saddles, Clue,
Clue,
Young Frankenstein, and
Yep.
Paper Moon, which I've never seen. It's
don't
one of
believe
those
I've seen that
Woody
one.
Allen movies.
Yeah,
so.
but yeah, I'm giving you Madeline Kahn.
There you go. There's the spirit.
There's the spirit. It came
You pull her
back.
out of Wonton Ton, the dog who saved Hollywood.
Yeah, dang right I am.
I'm sorry, that's not a Woody Allen movie. It's directed by Peter Bogdanovich. So
Oh, well,
Bogdanovich, yeah.
yes.
Neither of those guys
But
directed
yeah.
Wonton Ton, the dog who saved Hollywood.
I know that this is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and take her out of that movie and put her in this one.
Wow.
Bold choice, Cory. Living on the edge here.
Allie, I love the spirit. I love the effort.
It's fine. I
It's
know.
Sally
I know.
Field.
I know it is. I know it is. Sorry
stop
that
cheating.
I'm sorry that I'm
I
not a
promise-
cheater and I try to think. Yeah, it's fine.
I can't promise, but I'm pretty sure that's all the ones that that's gonna just immediately
There's
be
gonna be a
auto-bids.
surprise one later on that none of
That
us
none
know
of us
about.
knew,
That
but-
he's like, oh my god, here it is.
Yeah. He's like, finally, Nick, you get it.
It's finally.
All right. So Sally Field is on the board as Alice Evans. Not a lot of suspense there. We tried. So moving on to Grayson Butterfield, who is brilliantly played by Dallas Robert.
I want guarantees that Hollander and his boys will never set foot on my land again, and that my water's gonna flow. And I expect you to hand my wife 1,000 cash dollars when you see her. You got money to spare.
I can deliver that. Just get him on the train.
He does a really good job.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
For a lesser known actor, I don't really know much. He's been in Dallas Buyers Club, Walk the Line, and The Gray, the Liam Neeson movie.
Oh,
But,
interesting.
Yeah, he does a pretty decent job here. Holds his own against some titans of cinema.
Yeah, I just know him from Walk the Line. He's in The Gray.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember him, but he was
I
in
don't
it.
either.
Because you don't remember anyone because they all get eaten by wolves.
Right, yes.
And so,
Fair.
Walk the Line, he plays the director of Sun Studios.
Oh,
the
okay.
guy that essentially discovers everybody
Gotcha,
in Memphis,
gotcha.
And so he's the dude that does the, hey, imagine if you were dying on the
If
side
you
of the
had
road,
one
you'd
song
thing
to sing.
Yeah, that. So, and he does great there too.
Yeah.
So, I love this role. He's essentially representing the bank.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
And Ben Wade's a pain in his ass.
Yep.
Just
Absolutely.
keeps and it's like,
stealing everything.
and it's like, I'm wondering if it's territorial, like this is just the one bank in the area, so Ben Wade's just like robbing what he knows,
Over-
Yeah.
or Ben Wade's like, only this bank. We're gonna get Butterfield again.
Because he says it's like 20 times or something. Like he
Oh,
keeps
dang.
times. $400,000, which is like $1 billion.
right in the West.
No
Ben
wonder
Wade should have
he's-
retired by now.
Yeah, at what point are you just like, I'm tired of risking my life and I just have a lot of money?
Guys, we're going to Mexico. Going to Cancun.
We did it.
We picked on this small town when nobody came to help.
And so he's representing the bank, which is also the bank that's trying to foreclose on Dan Evans'
That's right, yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
And so because this other guy in town's like pretty much saying, I'll buy it. And the railroad, I don't know, all the Western tropes of the railroad's coming through and your land's on it and all this stuff. So yeah, but he's that guy. But he's part of like the big ending where, Dan makes him swear that he's going to essentially save his farm if he keeps
Right.
this dude on the train.
It's very high noon in the sense that everyone abandons Dan until the end, but differently, Dan's like, if I'm going out, I'm getting everything I wanted.
Yeah, in 2 minutes, everyone abandons Dan except for his teenage son, and the whole town joins the bad guy crew.
Right.
Like, it flips real fast.
It ticks up a notch there.
Yeah. It's bad. It's like a pretty well established like playground basketball game. Then LeBron James shows up and joins a team.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you're like, and he's not going to be easy.
No.
He's just going to be like, nope, this is part of my legacy. This game right now. And so it flips, and he's the last to essentially abandon Dan. And he's like, hey, and he tries to pay Dan to abandon. He's like, hey, I'll give you $200 and this is over. Like,
Yeah.
let's just roll out.
But not Dan Stevens.
Nope.
No.
Dan Evans, excuse me.
Evans.
I'm mixing
Dan
names here.
Stevens,
It's another actor.
Wait a second.
So, all right, yeah. So he's that guy, and he's great. He's got a good mustache, and he's a well-dressed guy.
Great mustache.
And he's kind of like the adult on this cross-country
Yes.
trip.
He is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
completely
all right,
agree.
stop beating the prisoner.
yeah.
He's like, all right, boys.
Yeah.
We
Settle
want him
down.
alive in Yuma.
No more roughhousing.
Yeah.
So he's the adult on the
The
trip.
sponsor on the trip, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Nick, you made that.
I did.
So you get to go first with Grayson Butterfield.
Yes. Cory, I'm going to, in the world of mustaches, I don't know if this guy can pull one off super well. I didn't go for the obvious mustachioed man of this era. I didn't give you two from that movie, but I am going to give you who needs a little boost in his career, something different other than the horror genre. I'm going to give you Anthony Perkins with a mustache.
Gosh, I love Anthony Perkins.
Man.
Oh.
No, yeah, well, it's fine. Well,
but yes, Anthony Perkins. If you don't know, he's the main character from Psycho. But that's kind of what he gets stuck in. He gets to do a fun Disney sci-fi movie, The Black Hole, later on. But he pretty much gets labeled as Norman Bates for the rest of his career.
Yeah, no, he's just Norman Bates.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he actually got, previous to this, he got to do one of the mystery movie, Murder on the Orient Express in '74. So he's getting to do some stuff like that.
Okay.
But I saw him in that, and I was like, you put a mustache on that guy, I feel like he's going to be a really, really fun in this role. It's going to be a little different than his Norman Bates character.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Part of me wants him to be one of the more rough and tumble guys.
Well,
but he's a little older.
Yeah. That's kind of I thought like maybe he could, but I was like, he's looking a little.
Yeah, because I mean, he's not like action. So when he got older, he just got more middle aged.
Yes. He's showing his age a bit.
Like I'm sure he's the same age as Christian Bale or something, but Christian Bale looks like Christian Bale.
Yeah,
and it's modern, and people
true.
aren't smoking and drinking as much anyway.
All right, cool. All right. I don't hate it. I'm a Perkins fan because of Psycho.
Yeah, fair. Totally fair. All right. Well, I actually, that's funny. I thought about him for a different role, so it's funny that he was even brought up. But anyway, so for Grayson Butterfield, I decided to go ahead. This was right before he got, I would argue, his big break. I'm going to go ahead and put Harrison Ford in here. I think he would do a really good job of being kind of that stoic, I don't know. There's something about his demeanor that I think would be really interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, he is free this year.
Yes, it's before he becomes
It's
Han
right
Solo.
before
Yes,
Han Solo.
before the jump
Plus,
into modern filmmaking.
Harrison Ford with a mustache? Yes, please.
But
Ali has envisioned this.
But
Corey.
he has acted.
He has. Oh yeah.
Because he was doing TV in the '60s. And
Yeah,
stuff.
he had acted. Yeah.
He was also in. Excuse me.
American Graffiti.
Yes, American Graffiti.
He's the bad guy racer.
Yeah.
American Graffiti.
But yeah, I'm giving you Harrison Ford.
I'm not mad about it.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
all
great.
right. As soon as you said it, Allie, I thought you lost your ever-loving mind because I was like, it's Harrison Ford, but you're right. He's just that
Harrison
guy
Ford.
from American Graffiti right now.
He's a carpenter, Corey.
Yeah, he's a carpenter.
Give him a mustache.
And he needs a mustache.
Ali is very
I'm just saying.
demanding the mustache is part of it.
Yes.
I can throw a mustache on him. It's fine. I'm trying to think here.
Ali's
I
like,
kind
no.
of have to go Harrison Ford.
Really?
I mean, we might as well. This is the only shot he's ever going to get to play this character because as soon as he becomes Harrison Ford, he's just badass for the rest of his life.
That's true.
Exactly.
This is the first time we get a moment where we see Harrison Ford out.
This will be close to his Apocalypse Now cameo, where he's just the office clerk guy.
Yeah.
That's just at the beginning.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We'll give him a bigger break here.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would be fun, especially right before he becomes Han Solo and everything else.
And maybe George Lucas sees this and says, well, that guy's a pussy. I'm not making him Harrison Ford.
Get Kurt Russell in there.
Get Pacino in here.
Yeah, Pacino, Christopher Walken.
Wasn't Pacino almost Han Solo?
Pacino and Kurt Russell was up for it.
Oh, okay. I could see that. I don't know about Pacino, but that's just my opinion.
Listen, Pacino he could have been Harrison Ford. I mean, he could have been Han Solo in the 70s, but could you imagine him in the newer trilogy as old man Pacino?
That's not how the Force works.
The lightsabers, the Force, it's all true.
Oh my god.
Can you drop the accent, Al? Dunkachino.
I love it. All right. So okay, Ali, I'm putting Harrison Ford in, and we're on a trajectory to get old man Pacino.
Oh my gosh!
In the new Star Wars.
Oh, guy.
Everything's changing in this timeline.
Maybe he won't mess up the end of the 2024 Oscars. maybe we did a lot of good here.
He said the right name. That's all that matters.
He did say the right name.
Yeah, it was just so anticlimactic.
He opens, he's like, Oppenheimer.
It says Oppenheimer.
It's like he forgot where he was.
He
He's
did.
like,
He did. That's the risk you run with those.
Just woken up from a nap.
It's the risk you run with those older actors, those prestige cameos.
And yet we keep trusting them to
doing
do the last one.
When will they learn?
Never.
Oh, man.
Next year we're gonna get who's the safest person? Matt Damon? Just like if it's Jimmy Kimmel, he's not gonna let him.
I was about to say, wait a second.
Who's the safest person we can get?
I mean, if we want to go old, I still think what's the guy that won 2 Oscars in the last 3 years, ruining the Oscars? He beat
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. He keeps winning
Oscars
He's too
for
old
movies.
Now. But that's
Younger.
I'm saying though, if we want a safe old man, I think Hopkins has
no
still got his
old
wits
man.
about.
This is no country for old man Corey.
Dang.
Oh, I say we get Tommy Lee Jones out there.
Oh, God.
We haven't seen him in forever.
That would be wild.
So who knows what he says?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Maybe we're having the exact conversation the Oscars had.
Yes, exactly.
They're like, who might just explode on stage? All right. Okay, so Harrison Ford, we're bringing him in. All right, viewers, before you get all pissy, again, he's not in Star Wars yet.
Not yet.
No, he's not
He's
Star
just-
Wars yet.
He's just the guy from American Graffiti.
We're just buffing up his resume.
Yeah, his resume.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. All right, we're coming up to possibly my favorite character in this movie because he's played
it is
by
Cory. Don't even
one of my
admit it.
favorite
I was about to
actors,
say.
Charlie Prince, who is the villain.
Morning, Pinkerton. Name's Charlie Prince. I expect you heard of me.
Well, I heard of a balled-up whore named Charlie Princess.
And he's kind of the stereo. He's like one of the caricatures that he is that right-hand man to the villain that is just like on the verge of homoeroticism loyal.
Fully
like,
committed.
like you're like,
yes.
he might be in love with Ben Wade because he is like having no disloyalty. He's like slapping his men around while he's burning another guy alive because they're even thinking about maybe not going to
like
get Ben
everybody's. We've captured Ben Wade. We're trying to get him on the train, and then you're sitting there watching me going, "Why is Charlie Prince not the guy everyone's scared of?"
I think I mean, that's what it is in some level. But again, Ben Wade's the guy that's like, well, I'm the brains, I guess, you know? And so...
Well, the thing, too, is that Ben Wade has this kind of arc of a story where you really realize he's not as bad as he's labeled to
there's
be.
good in him.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Charlie Prince is like, here's a guy devoid of good.
Yeah.
Like, just devoid of it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, he probably could be the leader, but I love ambiguity. I love when things are not spelled out for us. And this is a movie that, towards the end, they start dumping a lot of information on you at the very end, like they forgot to sprinkle throughout
By
the
the
movie.
way.
So, by the way, my son's got, he needs a dry climate. And he's like, I've escaped from Yuma before.
Listen, he just wanted to know he's not stubborn, Cory.
Yeah. So it's like we do information up at the end, but I love that they just allude that Ben Wade's done something. For Charlie Prince.
Yeah.
He's like, you forgot what he's done for us, and you're like, whoa, he said that with like Ben Wade's like murdered for these men before.
I mean, pretty much. So.
I love that we don't know what it is. But played by Ben Foster, Mr. Laura Prepon himself.
What?
He's married to
Laura Prepon? Not to Jack.
Oh my
That
gosh.
70s show.
What's her name?
The redhead from that 70s show. On Eric and
Donna.
Donna.
Guys, come on. It's that 70s show.
I believe they have children.
Wow.
So, you might look that up. Now you've got me second guessing myself.
No, married to Ben Foster.
Yes!
She dated him for several years, and then in August 2017, she gave birth to her and their daughter Ella.
Oh, okay.
They married in 2018.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, we had a kid.
Yeah, well, might as well do it.
All right. Ben Foster, he is a phenomenally, stupidly good actor,
Underrated
but kind
actor.
of
Very
avoids big things.
Yeah.
I think he had a bad experience with X-Men 3.
Well, you're promised a big role, then you're like...
You're the trailer.
Yeah.
And guys
Yes.
like Cory, who's like, Angel's my favorite X-Men, goes to the movie and you're like, what's this shit?
You're not just the subplot. You're like the D subplot.
Yeah.
Cory.
Yes.
And so, so he's just like, well, screw this. I'm out. But he's in the Tom Jane Punisher, Alpha Dog. He does incredible in that. Hell or High Water, this
Super good.
neo-western.
Yeah.
Does great. 30 Days of Night does great. He's just very, very character actor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like Johnny Depp, but not as famous.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just he can be the weirdest guy. in
If
the
Johnny
room.
Depp had chosen not to be Jack Sparrow, probably.
Yeah.
So.
And so I love Ben Foster, and this performance is unhinged. It's like you're definitely like, this guy at any point could kill anyone.
Yes.
And so he's the ticking time bomb of the movie
For sure.
because he is the storm coming for for them. Like they are trying to outrun this man in this posse because they will. And like the whole time Ben Wade's like, these dudes are animals.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you should let me go.
You better.
Like, this is bad. And so
It's like, Dan, they're coming.
yeah, at the end he's kind of like, no, Dan, I really like you. And these guys, there's no off switch. So we need unhinged here, people.
Allie, you made it.
Yeah, Allie, you're up.
All right, I'm up. All right, I'm gonna throw you something a little out of left field here. So
Okay.
So I have decided. So I know that earlier in this episode I mentioned that I love Carrie. However, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of throw that one a loop, or for a loop, whatever the phrase is, and I'm gonna cast John Travolta as Charlie Prince. So I'm taking him out of Carrie. The character is necessary in order for the story to progress. However, John Travolta's not necessarily needed in it, in my opinion. And I feel I would love to see unhinged Travolta.
Does Travolta, like you mean like an early 70s unhinged?
Yes,
Unhinged
we do later on. Yes,
Face Off is a thing, guys.
We do, but an early on, like younger, unhinged Travolta.
Yeah, we want.
I think that would be a really fun watch.
Does he have a dancing scene in Carrie?
He does.
No.
I mean, they go to prom together.
But it's like a slow dance.
It's slow
not
dance.
like the lights hit him and he has a number.
No, he has no number in
him.
Carrie. Yeah, no.
He could do a little dance in this movie, a little two-step or something.
He's going to be dancing all over this probably.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason.
He wasn't even instructed to do so.
Please stop.
Yeah.
I got this movie coming out. It's called Grease. In a couple years. Then it's Saturday Night Fever.
When is Saturday Night Fever?
It's in late 80s.
77.
Yeah.
So we're next year.
Oh, it's right beforehand.
Next year.
There we go.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, I got a movie. I got to like show up for filming next week. And
yeah, he goes back to back. Saturday Night Fever and then Grease. That's wild.
That is wild. But
wow.
Okay.
So we're going to make him play a murderous cowboy here. Interesting.
I think that would be fun right before, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you lose anything with him being out of Carrie.
No, you wouldn't.
We don't have to pull him out of The Boy in the Plastic Bubble. It was a TV movie.
Oh, perfect.
He's still in.
Oh,
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I was not sure about that one, but I'm glad we have confirmation.
You guys are uncultured. That's like, what's the matter with you? He's just entering our lives as Vinny Barbarino and Welcome Back, Kotter too. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it.
I'm okay with it, Allie.
I'll take that.
I'm into it.
All right.
You got my interest.
Okay.
Take it.
Well, Allie, you're not the only person that's going to try to pull somebody pre-Star Wars fame.
Ooh.
So Carrie Fisher this year, actually, I'm totally kidding.
All right, we're gonna gender swap here.
My eyes got real big there for a second.
Charlene Prince. Okay.
No, I'm gonna pull you Mark Hamill here.
Okay.
Hey!
You know, I'm not mad about that.
Now, we all know him eternally as Luke Skywalker. We also know him as the Joker in the animated version.
Yeah.
So we know that he has a penchant for playing crazy, unhinged individuals. So I think, and before this, he's in a lot of teen movies and stuff leading up to this, and he made a lot of appearances on TV, which is just kind of the way of the 70s. You're in a lot of Gunsmoke and stuff, just being that character of the week kind of thing. So I think with this, you're getting some of that character actor that Mark Hamill has confessed that was his plan, was like, I'm going to be a character actor, I'm going to do voice acting, and then Star Wars just happened. So I think we get that early taste of this in this role before he goes on to be Luke Skywalker. So yeah.
That's fair.
That's my pitch to you, Corey. I want to
He's kind of like a
fame.
He's like a early Daniel Radcliffe.
A little bit, like a unhinged, like it's Radcliffe after Harry Potter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, whereas Mark Hamill just disappeared for a few years. Like, he's like, okay, I gotta get this Luke Skywalker stink off of me.
Right? Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe's just like, what are the weirdest movies in Hollywood
Oh,
I
it's
can
so
do
great.
right
Strap
now?
guns to my hands and we play
so
a video
good.
game.
So
I'm gonna play Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
brilliantly.
So good.
Weird Al Yankovic. So, all right. Okay. Got some big
The choice is
here.
here, Corey. Do you want to dance with Travolta, or do you want to deal with the devil inside of Mark Wahlberg or Wahlberg? Mark Hamill. A little early for Wahlberg here.
I don't want to dance with Mark Wahlberg at all. His weird T-Rex arms. All right.
The clock's a ticking.
Love you, Mark. It's got to be Travolta.
Okay.
I'm going Travolta.
All right. That's fair.
I want it. And let's just not muddy it up with too much Star Wars. Then we come off as those people that only know Star
Well, I'll
Wars
erase the
actors.
next 3 picks of mine.
It's like James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Peter Mayhew
Allie
out of nowhere.
I guess they don't want him for the sun. That's okay. That's fine. Moving on.
I'm excited for
Okay.
Travolta in this role.
I think it could be fun.
Guys, I will say this while we're on Charlie Prince still. I'm still on the chess piece. I mean, it's Travolta, but I absolutely love the last scene because, again, there's a lot of ambiguity that somehow Charlie Prince just knows
Oh, that Ben's going to kill
that
him.
Ben changed.
Yeah, he senses
swaps
it. Yeah.
I love the shot's great where he stops. Nothing's been said. There's no sound of a clicking gun. He just stops and turns around and does
barely
Yeah.
turns. He just kind of.
He's covered in blood
Yeah.
to get to this man,
Yeah.
and he now knows, oh, he's going to shoot me.
It turns out Ben Wade's faster.
What? He kills everyone.
He does. He murders his entire gang.
He kills everyone before Ben Foster hits the ground. Because he catches Ben Foster.
That's right. And shoots him again.
And shoots him again with his own Schofield. I'm not a gun guy, but Schofields are kind of cool.
Okay.
Those are the ones that open up halfway.
Well, these are
It's just-
iconic kind of guns. They
yeah,
got
they're like
crosses
revolvers
on them and stuff.
Yeah. I just like I don't know anything about it. I just
No.
know they said Schofield at one point.
Okay.
And his like when he opens his gun, it doesn't come out to load; it like comes in half. And he
Oh yeah.
it's kinda
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's a
When you can individualize a gun and make it
Yeah.
personal to the character, that's when it's fun. When you're just going, well, he's using a blah blah blah. It's like I don't care. I don't
oh
care.
yeah. If you
Move
go to
on.
IMDb trivia, it's just
Yeah.
like half light guns.
Yeah.
They use this gun. Blah blah blah.
That
and
wasn't
you're
made until 1972, actually.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy now. All right, Travolta's gonna be an unhinged dancing cowboy here. All right, that brings us to our top 3 here. Got to do the hard one here. The teenager,
Oh yeah.
William Evans, played by Logan Lerman.
You ever been to Dodge City?
No.
Stop talking to him. Way you shuffling those cards, I took you for a pro.
I practice a lot.
I can tell.
Very much the heart of this story because Dan Evans, he wants to save his farm, but more than anything, he just wants the respect of his oldest child.
Yeah.
You know?
Who does not respect
Does
him at
not
all?
No,
respect
not
him.
at all.
He is an angsty teenager.
Yes, he is.
He is listening to whatever the Old West equivalent of My Chemical Romance is. He's going to the saloon to listen to whatever.
The alternative, if
Yeah.
you will.
Alternative.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a good one.
And he's just mad at his one-legged dad who's killing himself to save this farm. Kind of ungrateful. So, all
As
right.
most teenagers are.
But Logan Lerman,
Fair.
Perks of Being a Wallflower, Fury, Bullet Train, and he was Percy Jackson.
That's
He
right.
was.
All right, he's got quite a resume there.
He does. He's one of those teen actors that he picks really good stuff. He picks good stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And he
I
didn't
really like
He
him.
didn't really ram himself down our throats
No.
either. It's like he just kind of pops up every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you.
Oh, that guy. Hey, you're not so bad.
Yeah.
You're pretty good.
I like you. You're gonna
Meanwhile,
announce him to be the next James
he's-
Bond like 10 years from now. We're like, oh yeah, Logan Lerman. So,
I knew that kid had something.
yeah, he's got some moxie.
Pizzazz.
I get him confused with the Ready Player One kid. Who's
Oh,
the Kai Sheridan.
yeah.
I get him. I've been confused sometimes.
Hallie's like, oh, what?
I mean, I just think they're both like brunette teenage boys in
Gotcha.
that
Okay.
age range, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I was sorry.
They all blend together
Yeah.
at some point.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, so we just need really an angsty teenager here, but he's got to sell the ending where he really comes around on his dad, you know.
Good luck, Allie.
And so
Yeah,
again,
yep.
we loosen the rope here on the
We did.
rules
We did.
because there's only so many teenagers acting in the 70s here, and so we gotta expand. So if you know of an actor who's at least in a movie somewhere in this vicinity
Yeah.
and can fall in the age range,
Okay.
we're open to it.
Got it.
Nick, you made it.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You lost.
Did not.
No,
You
you
made
did
it.
not.
I'm so glad.
Sorry, he's
No.
just sitting over there with some confidence. So
I know, yeah. I have no confidence in this one. I'll be 100% honest. I had a really tough time with this one.
okay.
I kept on trying to find somebody around this time, this in the 70s that just would. There were several that I thought of where I was I hadn't really seen a whole lot that they were in, and honestly, my choice, I haven't seen a whole lot that he's in either. But we're gonna go forward with it.
Okay.
I am gonna give you Danny Bonaducci, who is in The Partridge Family.
Partridge
The only movie that
Family.
he's in this year is Baker's Hawk, and he's like bottom of the tier list. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him out of that and put him on in here.
Interesting.
Wow,
I think it would
okay.
be a little interesting.
Red-haired son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel,
It
and
happens
at that point,
genetically.
he didn't look super. I mean, he looked young. Obviously, he was a teenager, but he didn't look like a kid.
He wasn't the little boy
Yes.
that people may know him from Partridge
from
Family.
my understanding. Yes.
Gotcha.
Unless YouTube lied to me, but we
True.
will see.
You didn't grow
They-
up watching The Partridge Family?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to figure out what instrument he played in the Partridge Family. Looks like
No idea. I wish I could.
I've got him
I
with
could help.
basses and guitars. Is he the bass player for the Partridge Family? He is. You're pulling the bassist from the Partridge Family.
Sure. Yeah. Let's.
It's fine,
Let's
it's
go
TV,
for it.
he can
Yeah,
still
that's what
play
I'm thinking.
bass.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he can still slap the bass and also be a sassy little teen.
How old is he in 1976?
In 1976, he is 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, he's 17.
So he's not going to look as goofy as he did in the Partridge Family.
No,
All
from
right.
from my understanding, I could have done my research incorrectly.
All right. No, it's fine. No. And Danny Bonaducci's got edge.
He does, and I think he could. I think that he could be sassy, and I think that he could, just be kind of a sullen teenager who's upset at his dad and has no respect for him.
That's fair.
No. Okay, I've Googled him in 76. He looks normal.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad my research was correct.
Well, Allie, I'm going to take your Partridge Family son. I'm going
All
to
right.
raise you another Partridge Family son.
Are you serious?
And I'm going to
Dang
bring
it. Are
you
you doing?
David Cassidy.
I was thinking about him too.
Now,
that was
David
another one.
Cassidy is older. He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're gonna beef him up a little bit. We'll make the idea that he's like, I should have more responsibility around here. I should take the reins from you, one-legged man, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could rewrite it to where he's trying to move out and be on his own, but he's
Yeah.
got to like help his one-legged
Right.
father.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
like you're
that's-
holding me back.
Yeah. Exactly. Like
So-
he's like, you should let me run the ranch, Dad, and let me make the decisions now.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going
can
with.
see that.
And David Cassidy, he's a big name in the 70s. I
He
think
is a big
you're gonna
name.
pull in some other demographics, if you will, into this Western.
Valid point.
I can't believe you guys just brought me two
That
people from.
is actually really
Well, it was
funny.
that, or it was Charlie Bucket. So that's what we had for you.
Peter Ostrom?
Yeah.
That would have been a good one.
Pulled him out of retirement.
Yeah, I wanted
early-
to respect his retirement, so that's why I didn't cast
didn't
him.
wanna
What's the matter with
respect
you
him.
guys? No.
I wanted to be sorry for being respectful.
There's enough
Corey hates respect.
farm
I
vets
suppose
in the
so.
world. We needed more child actors in this.
we really did.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's because they all.
The Bad News Bears just now happens too.
Yeah.
So
And none of those kids stuck with
no,
it.
none of them.
Just Tatum.
Yeah.
Man, they all just acted, made their money, went to college, and got real jobs.
The nerve of these guys. Well balanced individuals.
Man, okay. I don't like either of them.
Okay.
That's
Because
fair.
this is the whole time
Pull
you're waiting for
the choice. Pull the card. over.
the whole time you're just waiting for David Cassidy to sing.
That's why it's good though. It's a gritty thing. It's
He's gonna-
unexpected.
It's like that. It's like the scene from Holy Grail where he keeps breaking out in a song, and Dana's like, nope. At the end, Travolta's gonna start dancing a little. Benway's like, nope.
It's
nope.
not, but that's why it works though. It's because he's this cocksure young individual that gets thrown into this true West, and that's why a Partridge Family character is going to work because you're like, oh my gosh, he's bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, he's seen what the world's really like. There's no songs here, Corey.
Okay, listen. I can either choose Bonaducci or I can choose Chaos.
What's chaos? Are you gonna?
I have an override.
You have an override?
Oh no.
But is it the override?
It's a controversial override. Possibly the most bold thing ever done on this podcast.
Oh gosh.
What are
Oh,
you
no.
concocting,
What
Corey?
did we do?
What have we done? We should
I'm
have casted.
I'm proposing of taking someone out of a very renowned film, by just universally renowned, costing them their first Oscar nomination, and pulling them out of my favorite live-action Disney film of all time. I want to gender swap this and make it Jodie Foster.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of
Now
Freaky
it's like-
Friday?
Yeah, now it's like the one-legged dad forcing the like kind of the gender like stuff on her. Yeah, what?
I will also point out it's not just Freaky Friday.
No, it's
You're
also
taking
Taxi Driver. It's the
also
first Oscar-
Taxi
Oh,
Driver.
It's her first
whoa,
Oscar
I didn't
nomination.
Think about that.
I literally said this.
Yeah, I know you did. I know. I understand. I had to process for a
we
second.
put it all together.
Oh, I said Disney and Nick blanked and went, what?
I was like, there was a Disney movie this year?
Freaky Friday's Disney, right?
Yeah, it
Yes.
is Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney.
It's my favorite live-action Disney film.
That's a pivotal year for her.
Wow.
It is, and she's also in Bugsy Malone,
Well,
which is, I think, a big deal. And Echoes of Summer.
not
Don't
quite
think it's
Freaky
not
Friday,
as-
Taxi Driver,
No,
big
it's
deal.
not. It's not those things. But
Corey.
she made a lot of movies this year, and this is where she becomes Jodie Foster.
Right.
Um,
So you just make her tomboy of the...
yeah, kind of a forced tomboy, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
And
Had
like
to-
because
had help.
one-legged dad, other kids too small to
Oh,
help.
no, I like it
It's
too
this
much.
angsty thing, and
Oh,
it's
no.
like, and she's like,
You
Dad, just
know-
treat me like a little boy. And at the end, you have the father-daughter moment.
Oh man.
When he gives the piece of jewelry the brooch back, it means more.
Oh, no.
Puts it in her hands and says, "You're gonna be a fine woman
Corey,
like your mother
stop
one day."
making it good. Stop making it good, Corey.
Why does that work?
Because it
It
does.
just does. I could see that.
I'm doing it.
Oh
We're
man.
burning Freaky Friday
Oh
and
my
Taxi Driver
gosh.
to the ground.
Wow.
Jodie
Wow.
Foster. It's my override.
I don't know who's going to freak out about
we're
it.
gonna
I mean,
lose listeners.
the Scorsese fans? The Scorsese fans?
Yeah,
maybe?
I mean,
Okay.
just people. Ash may not come back on the show.
I can't believe you've done this, Corey.
Yeah, he's like, screw this. I'm not doing this podcast anymore. It's got too much power.
With great power, we took no responsibility, Corey.
None. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I warned Nick today I might do something drastic.
I had no idea.
And it was this. All you cared about was am I touching Rocky, but no, I'm touching.
That's what I was like.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
Freaky
you gonna touch
Friday.
Rocky?
Yeah.
And I'll go on record right now. It hurts me more to pull her out of Freaky Friday than it
That's-
does Taxi Driver and cost her an Oscar
That tells you
nomination.
what kind of podcast we are.
But I'm saying, I think I've set up a story in such a way she could still get that Oscar nomination.
She could. She could.
We're gonna love this moment at the end when it becomes the father-daughter moment. He's handing the
Yeah.
brooch back
Gonna
and saying,
pull
"You're gonna
those
be a fine
heartstrings.
woman like your mother," and that's all she ever wanted to hear.
Dang it, man.
It's too good.
It works.
Too good.
And the Oscar goes to. We take it from Beatrice
That's. I mean, yeah.
and
yeah,
Network.
Yeah.
got
Network's had
two-
enough.
It's got,
Network's had 3 Oscar
it had
wins.
2 more.
Take it out of
Yeah.
there.
Jodie Foster for 310 to Yuma. So
signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay, so if you're still listening, you haven't turned the podcast off because of
Cory.
Yeah, because of me.
We're moving on.
I think we'll just call her Willie.
Okay.
You know, it's like that weird, like it's still kind of a forced boy name, but
Yeah,
it's like got
okay.
a girly tone to it. She's just mad about it.
Yeah.
Maybe her
alright.
real name's Wilfred or Wilma.
Wilma. Okay. All right.
But she goes by Willie and she hates it.
Okay. Got it.
This is writing itself, damn it. So, all right, if you're still with us, we're on the top 2 roles here. Going on to Dan Evans.
I ain't never been no hero, Wade. Only battle I seen. We was in retreat. My foot got shot off by one of my own men. You try telling that story to your boy. See how he looks at you then.
Giving Ben Wade top billing here.
Oh.
He's listen, it's
fair.
Maximus Decimus Meridius. Christian
Okay.
Bale just became Batman.
He's making the money.
He's
He's
still
selling
earning
the
his
movie
stripes.
here. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
Dan Evans, like we said, he played by Christian Bale. I mean, it's Christian Bale. It's American Psycho. It's the Dark Knight trilogy. It's The Fighter, Ford Ferrari, Public Enemies, Prestige. He's in Studio Ghibli movies. So, I mean, Reign of Fire
He's
wrote
Batman.
down Reign of Fire with Matthew McConaughey.
How could you not, Cory? How could you not? Don't act like you're mad
I
about
went
it.
through my notes and I'm like, Reign of Fire.
Somebody's like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, it's like the movie where a bald McConaughey like dives an axe into a dragon's
It's
head.
incredible. Allie, have you seen Reign of Fire?
No, but it has a dragon in it?
Oh, there's dragons.
They're fighting
plural.
dragons.
Dragons
It's
take
a
over.
post-apocalyptic dragons took over the world, and Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale got to save the world.
Well, gotta
It's
add that to my
incredible.
letterboxd. Let me add that to my letterboxd. I gotta watch that.
Christian Bale was essentially chosen by Russell Crowe, James Mangold, and Kathy Conrad. Unanimously.
Yeah,
Just said,
yeah.
this guy. Eric Bana was in initial negotiations to star opposite of, and we won't mention this name until we get to Ben Wade,
Okay,
because
okay.
it's a big one.
It's a big one. Yeah.
But Eric Bana was originally considered for Dan Evans here, which it wouldn't have sucked, but I think we lose some of the prestige.
Some of the gravitas.
Yeah, it's Eric Bana is also one of those guys that was supposed to catch and
just never took off. You know,
then
had a
Brad
lot of good
Pitt
movies.
Kicked his ass.
He
in
did.
Troy, and we lost faith in him as an actor.
Oh yeah, beat it out
It
of
was
him.
supposed to be the passing of a baton, and Brad Pitt said, "I'm not done, damn it."
He went into business for himself.
Reading the script like, hey, you're supposed to lose.
That didn't work for me, brother.
Just because it's these top 2, we got some stuff. Terse dialogue between Ben and Dan in the bar when Ben is captured is taken almost verbatim from the original.
Yeah,
Although
it's
some of the
it's
lines-
pretty much beat for beat the exact same scene. Now the dynamics are a little different. Again, it's the way that's shot. It makes you more aware that Dan is aware that the posse is coming to collect him, so he's killing that time. In the original movie, he doesn't seem to be that aware of it. He's just like kind of annoyed and
You really don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, did he know that they're coming,
Yeah,
or is he
yeah.
just get lucky here?
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does the "you make me nervous" line in
Yes,
there?
it is,
I
yeah.
like that. That's a
Yeah.
good line.
Yeah, that
For
is a
making
good
me
line.
nervous.
There's a lot of good lines in this. The second time through, I was like, because it could ride that edge of like, it's a little forced, but I was like, no, a lot of these work really well. And like Christian Bale's delivery to his wife, to Alice, right before he leaves, the last words he tells her, he's like, I've been praying to God for 3 years and he ain't answering.
Yeah.
Like that hits.
Yeah, that's a really
That's
good
a desperate
line.
man.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, all right. Well, Christian Bale, Dan Evans, the one-legged rancher out to save his farm, is given an opportunity to raise that cash by transporting notorious outlaw Ben Wade to Yuma to put him to what is that town?
Constantinople? No.
Yes, no, it's not that one. I don't know. It's got a C word and it's like a word.
Yes.
And just put him on the train to Yuma where he will be
Right.
hanged.
It's one of those Western names that shouldn't be like a town's name, but it is a town's
It's
name.
like constipation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something weird. So just like someone
Contention.
That's
There we go. Yeah,
Contention.
you're not
Yeah.
wrong.
Get him to contention to put him on the 310 to Yuma.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that the train is late in this movie. By the way,
It's on time in the original. They're like, right there it is.
like in this movie, it's like we've just got through this town and we've been shot at 300 times. Where's this damn train? And that guy, you can't tell if he's freaked out or having a good time. He's like, this is exciting, but also I might die. And he's like, it's late.
No,
So
just really to note, in the original, I will say the original actors, you have Glenn Ford playing the Ben Wade role, and then the original actor to play Dan Evans was Van Heflin. He's a little rougher of a guy, but like it is more that just regular kind of white-hatted cowboy. Like there's not as much of the background about the leg and stuff. Actually, I don't even think the leg is a part of it. Like he's just like a cattle rancher that's just happens to need money. So like adding the leg and the whole thing about trying to prove himself and never having a moment when he has that showdown, it adds so much to the character.
Well, and it's like he's lost his leg. The country just gave him $200 for it, and I like the line, so they could walk away.
Yeah,
not so I could walk away, but so they could walk away. And I was like, that was a good line. And so this character's very, very dense in this version, and kind of perfect. And Christian Bale's really perfect for the role. So that brings us to the last person to make it was Allison.
Yes, before Cory intervened and
was me.
Destroyed the internet.
Destroyed the 70s.
Single-handedly.
Alrighty, so Dan Evans. So I decided to, this person, so he's been known for a couple of things. He was in Tombstone. He was also in A Star is Born, the newer one. For some reason, I did not write down more things that he's in, so please don't come for me. I am going to give you Sam Elliott. I think Sam Elliott would be an interesting, like a downtrodden, just dejected Sam Elliott would be really interesting within this role.
That plays.
I
can
think it
see
could be
that.
really interesting.
Considering he has like one of the strongest mustaches and heads of hair
Bless.
in Hollywood,
That's
he
true.
does have a basset hound quality to him.
He
always
does.
seems sad.
Yeah, he does.
He always seem like, oh.
And he's only in one movie this year called Lifeguard, and apparently it was not very, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that's not a big thing.
He's still on the TV route. He's Streets of San Francisco, Hawaii Five-0. Like you're not really seeing him take off yet until the 80s. It seems like there's TV movies and stuff. I'm trying to even see like what would be his first big movie, like Roadhouse, I guess. He does Roadhouse and Prancer in '89, and there's a Quick and the Dead version of a TV movie version of it. He's in Mask, so
he's
85.
in Mask. Mask is great. And he's great in Mask.
Okay, so maybe that's where it really started to take off.
Yeah, so maybe jumpstart his career a little bit early and maybe get him some more stuff throughout the rest of the 70s and the 80s.
I like that.
I think it would be a fun time.
Did you look at Lifeguard?
Yes.
He looks incredible.
I know. Yeah, he does.
It's like Tom Selleck ripped Sam Elliott off.
Yeah, when I was researching this, I saw that the full movie was on YouTube, and I watched a little bit more than I care to admit. If I'm being honest.
Because you couldn't stop looking at Sam Elliott.
He's a babe in that movie.
He is incredible.
Yes.
He's got like the body of Scott Hall.
Oh, wow.
Man,
yes.
Okay.
He's just hairy-chested. He was a hairy-chested lifeguard.
Well, it was the 70s, Cory. It was a different time.
But man, it's like if I'm drowning and he grabs you, you're like, ugh. You're kind of like, let me go, but don't.
Yeah, I'd be one of those where people pretend to drown, just so that he would come out and rescue them.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
Girls
I'm
are Mindy
drowning.
Peppercorning 70s. Sam Elliott. Okay. Yep. He looks great, so that's point you. And he does have the basset hound quality.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to knock him off this lifeguard peg. I didn't know he made movies where he was a hip happening guy.
Yeah, we got to knock him off a peg here. Or should we keep him and instead, Cory, take Roy Scheider?
Damn it, that's good.
Jaws' own Roy Scheider.
Basset hound.
Another basset hound of a man. Jaws, All That Jazz, The French Connection, Sorcerer.
When is Sorcerer? Is
I
it
believe
now?
it's the year after.
Oh, okay.
this.
I was like, Nick,
yeah, I made sure, Cory. Sorcerer.
Watch Sorcerer. It's
watch
incredible.
Sorcerer. It's wild.
Okay. I'll add that
77,
to my
Cory. Yeah, this year he's in Marathon Man, but he's not Dustin Hoffman.
But he's the Nazi dentist, Nick.
Oh, come on,
Nick. He's the Nazi dentist.
Is it that important?
Yes.
Aren't there other Nazi dentists that we can choose?
Wait, hold on. No, never mind. Laurence Olivier is the Nazi dentist.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was the first second I was thinking he's the Nazi dentist, but wait, he's too young to be the Nazi dentist. No, okay, that's Laurence Olivier.
Okay,
we're fine.
He's Henry Doc Levy in the movie.
I said Doc, and I was like, is he the dentist? So, no.
I was worried because I didn't have time to watch Marathon Man. It was on my list, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to shoot in the dark here. He's not the lead, and he doesn't seem like he's that important in the movie. So, someone in the 70s, some cinephiles now has turned it off because we said Marathon Man's not that important.
Yes.
But no, I think for the same kind of reasons. Yeah, he's kind of a Christian Bale of his own time in ways. Like he usually plays somewhat of an everyman, somewhat of a broken characters and stuff, like in Jaws, as we've talked about previously in other episodes that Alley Dale's been a part of.
Truth.
But I just think he has the right vibe for it. Like he's going to really lean into the whole idea of a broken Civil War vet that needs a win.
These are both great in different ways. And it's like, I know Sam Elliott can do a Western. Like,
you do?
Yep. We know that. Like, it's safe. Roy Scheider's got chops for days. And he's
good at acting.
Crap. This one's hard. Hey, Sam Elliott's good at acting. And he may have more of one lane. And I think here's the problem. I think that one lane hurts him.
Sam Elliott's lane hurts him?
He is a basset hound of a man, but at the same time, it's like he's a basset hound that can handle his own. I don't really... It's hard to
So
see.
you're
like,
saying it's too believable
he's too
that
tough.
he would.
I just feel like he would just absolutely just.
We gotta be tough, Corey, to like stay on a piece of land
yeah,
for
I
10
get it,
years and try to
but-
with one leg take out a few guys while you're on the way. And you gotta be tough to
Nick's
get him
rooting for
to
your
that
guy.
train.
I'm
okay?
not. That's
Yeah,
why I'm not interrupting.
just
I'm
get
just
out of
letting
Nick's
him
way.
go. Yeah, go for it, Nick. Continue.
I don't know. Like Roy Scheider's great, but it's like it's one of those. It's the conundrum of this podcast is where you're like, there's the choice that you have, but then sometimes you're also like, well, what's the best fit for the 70s, or like what works best in the time period, or what seems to make the most sense, you know?
I do kind of want to pull Sam Elliott out of this lifeguard movie and tell him to get back in his place in
Is
the
he?
Old
Hold
West.
on. Let me. What's it called? It's called
Lifeguard.
Lifeguard.
Yes.
He looks like he's
If he's-
having
You've
a
gotta
great
search it up,
time in
Nick.
Southern California.
Because if he's too pretty, that's the thing.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, he's a handsome man, but
He
I
is.
wouldn't call him
like
pretty
if he's
necessarily.
Too, if it's too like, because you want him to look a little unshoveled.
like
here.
I'm pretty, I'm not handsome.
Yeah, he's handsome.
He's handsome.
Okay, he's handsome, and he's not like, oh my god, like, you know. He would be a pretty solid lead actor for a movie at this point in time. Like, I think that's might be why he hits so hard in the 80s, because he's a little aged, got some salt and pepper going on. So
Fine, I'm giving it to Sam Elliott. You didn't defend Roy Scheider at all. You it sounded like you just completely lost faith in him once Sam
Thanks,
Elliott went.
Nick.
sometimes people just come with better choices. Like, not like my choice was bad, but I was just like,
no,
yeah,
yours was a solid choice.
no, this works. I like it. I like the idea.
I'll tell you who I would have gone with. I had because obviously I have back pocket picks up top.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I didn't want to detonate the Jodie Foster nuke. But I would have gone with this guy named William Devane.
Devane.
It's all I can think to tell you two uncultured swine is he's the president in Dark Knight Rises for 10 seconds.
The president?
Yeah, the president goes on TV.
Oh.
Like
I
Bruce
don't
Wayne's
even
watching
remember
it in
that
the whole
part.
prison.
Okay.
I only know it because I go every time. It's like, hey, it's William Devane.
Oh, okay.
But William Devane, he was in the Bad News Bears sequel.
Not this year. The next
No,
one.
yeah, the next year because they couldn't get Walter Matthau. But he's also
I
a
see.
Marathon Man.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
again, when I kind of wrote him down, I was like, he's not the Nazi doctor.
Interesting.
So,
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
He's also a basset hound of a man, but I also think he's not necessarily tough.
Gotcha.
But right now he hawks gold on daytime television, I believe. So, all right, that brings us to Ben Wade.
I always liked you, Byron. But you never knew when to shut up. Even bad men love their mamas.
Played by Russell Crowe. I mean, we are in peak Russell Crowe here.
Yes.
I mean, he hits Gladiator and he doesn't stop until like American Gangster.
Pretty much.
Which is like next year.
This is the
2008?
same year, actually.
Oh, are you
yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
God.
He backed up
What a
same
year.
year. Yeah.
Just making movies with Denzel and Bale.
Yeah.
All right, man. Why did he have to go get fat and stop doing good?
I don't know. He did Nice Guys.
He did do Nice Guys. Nice Guys is incredible, but now
Yes.
he's making like the Pope horror movies.
He's having fun. He was trying to be Jekyll and Hyde.
He's like, all I ever really want to be was in B horror movies. But that was in Gladiator. People loved it.
LA
It was
Confidential. They just
freaking
kept
annoying.
attaching me to stuff. I was Robin Hood and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good one.
No.
All right. But it's Russell Crowe, and we're
Yeah.
in peak Russell Crowe. But yeah, Nice Guys, Les Miserables, LA Confidential, Gladiator, Beautiful Mind, all of that stuff. Guys, Les Miserables, Crowe, do y'all love or hate it?
I go against the grain. A lot of music people hate him in that movie because
I
they're like, "Oh,
loved him.
I loved him in that movie
loved
too."
him.
I didn't mind
love
him.
Apparently,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but I believe in the original Les Mis, like both that character is also a tenor. So in the confrontation scene,
Oh.
when I listen to it, it's hard to pick out the voices. But
Yeah.
when he does, and he's got the bass voice with Hugh Jackman's tenor, it just flows so much better.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I like that he has a bassier voice, and I like Russell Crowe going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We know a lot of theater people who are just like, Russell Crowe was horrible in that movie, and I'm like, you're horrible at acting. enjoy it now. It's over. So I'm just saying, I like
Anyway,
Russell Crowe.
Ben Wade.
And Les Miserables.
Ben Wade, Cory.
So Ben Wade. Ben Wade is essentially, I like it. It's the flip. He is essentially the prototypical cowboy here. He
Yeah.
is the fastest gun.
Yeah.
He is the most dangerous dude. He's philosophical. He's an artist. He's
Yeah.
like the educated dude
He
for
reads
some
the
reason.
Bible.
Read the Bible in 3 days because
Yeah.
his mom abandoned
Abandoned
him.
Oh
Just
my.
read the Bible.
This is his origin story.
Yeah. She's like, hey, yeah, like what book can I really sour on this kid right now?
What book's gonna
the
keep him-
Bible.
Well, she just was trying to find the long book, Cory.
This is the longest book I could find. So, all right, yeah, played by Russell Crowe, brilliantly. It's great. We get the big arc here because he is the villain, and his thing is he comes to respect his captor, you know, and essentially willingly gets on the train at the end, despite the fact that he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with this movie is they do the stupid horse whistle. which I feel
at the end,
does
yeah.
not. I would have preferred ambiguity that like we know he can escape.
Yeah.
Is he going to escape? He makes the decision.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, I think he says earlier, it's like, I've escaped twice already. And I think the whistling of the horse isn't so much that he's going to hop off the train. I think it's that the horse is going to follow him to Yuma.
No, that's what I'm saying. Though.
Yeah.
I think it's telling you I plan on escaping from Yuma.
Yeah.
And I would have rather like left that open to
Oh, I see.
interpretation of like, does he
Maybe
escape,
he decides
or
to
does he
stay.
like go face his death in the way he just watched this guy face his?
Got it.
Because it's the right thing.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
get what you're saying. Yeah,
I see it.
I hate the horse whistle at the end. That's it.
But everything else about that ending.
Yeah.
Man, it's a good ending.
The music, the
It's
train
so
just
good.
chugging in the background as he slowly pulls the gun on the team.
Oh, man.
So good.
Russell Crowe was the first choice for Ben Wade.
Was not the first choice for Ben Wade.
No, I'm sorry. Well, it says was. Oh,
the first choice after
Tom Cruise
Tom Cruise
dropped out,
Yeah.
putting it into turnaround, and then it was Crowe that got it back up and running.
Which makes sense because the movie I forgot to mention on Mangold's his filmography is Night and Day. He directed that one with him and Cameron
I
Diaz.
mean, there's a good
so there's a
reason
connection.
we leave that off list.
Yeah, well-
It's bad.
It's fun.
It's kind of like a wart on
You
Tom
forget it.
Cruise's
You watch it,
legacy,
forget
though.
about it,
That's
but
the
yeah.
thing. Most of Tom Cruise's movies are really good, and you're like, no. you made
Anyway,
this throwaway crap.
they work together
Like
before.
Ashton
so.
Kutcher could have just been in this movie, and yet you are. Like, why?
Dang.
So,
hot takes all around.
but Tom
I
Cruise,
guess so.
I would have loved to have seen. Though his one heel turn is not my favorite. I don't love the movie Collateral, like
It's a
most
shame.
people do.
It's a shame.
Most people love that movie. I don't think it's great.
Well,
So maybe he
I
wouldn't have
enjoy
done
it.
well here.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't do well here. Maybe I'm glad Russell Crowe got it.
Listen, it works so well. Crow does such a good job
He
in
does.
it.
Yes, he really does.
Because unlike Glenn Ford, which I don't want to talk of ill of the dead, but I just feel like it works so much better, and he's much more charismatic.
Yeah.
Like Glenn Ford just kind of plays it just straight, and you're kind of like, okay, that's fine. But like this one, you're like, I get why these women are falling for him, and I get why his wife's kind of sitting there going like, well, he's not what I expected.
Well,
you know?
and I do like that they add a lot of characters to a Western villain here, and I think they're planting these seeds where we as the audience we kind of like think over and over again like, oh, we're about to see the good come out. We're about to see the good come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then he follows it up by something horrendous.
Yeah.
You know,
Murders
like,
the guy in the middle of the night.
You know,
Yeah.
Peter Fonda,
Yeah.
you know, and all this stuff, and like murders the dude in his sleep. And so it's
Mhm.
like, and he keeps coming back to like, y'all think I'm capable of good, but I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
rotten. And like the hotel scene's incredible because the kid's like, you saved us from, he's like, no, I saved myself, you know?
Yes.
And then he's like,
Yeah.
you saved us from the sun. It's like, if I had a gun, I would have shot you first.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And so, and you kind of believe him. You're like, oh, okay, so Russell Crowe is a bad dude. And
Right.
Dan might be in real trouble now. So,
I think there's a little denial there, but I do like he's proven with his actions over his words that like, yes, I'm capable of bad things for sure.
Speaking of the ending, we've already mentioned that like it is different than the 57 version, but we get some real time here. Once the clock strikes 3 in the movie, it's exactly 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
of
that's cool.
Gunfight and
Mhm.
getting to the station.
Pretty neat.
I
And
love
also
it,
those sets were unfinished, and that's why they're running through those unfinished houses, but they were just like, let's just work with it.
Well, you're like, yeah,
It does work.
They were building houses in Tombstone.
Yeah, yeah.
So, no one questioned that. It's just a burgeoning community.
Right.
So, but you're kind of like, that's some pretty modern
Architecture there.
Like, they're using 2x4s and like, they've got some modern framing going on.
Interesting.
So, wow. Every time I see it, I just assume that's the case. I'm like, oh, they didn't finish this building. So, I don't think that there was a director's choice of like, let's make the town look unfinished.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why? And then the director just says, because we're out of time, dipshit.
We're on a budget here. The
right.
assistant director's like, we got to wrap this up,
All
guys.
right.
Like,
Speaking of wrapping this up, let's cast this.
right.
Allie, you or Nick got Sam Elliott on the board. I'm not sure which. You threw his name out.
You're
Nick
welcome.
sold it.
Thanks, Nick.
Nick tapped out on Roy Scheider.
Alrighty, so Ben Wade. So, I mean, like we've already said, he's pretty much just a very cool and slick, charismatic villain, and that's something I really liked about him. So I decided to go with somebody who is he's free within this year. Now I'm going to give you Steve McQueen, who is known for several westerns that I have not written
cool
down.
guy.
Yeah, he's known
The
for
king of
being
cool.
he's known for being really cool, and I think that he could play the character really well. But I also think that it would be interesting to see him show that dark side of Ben Wade and show the, like you said about how he you think that he's about to redeem himself and he ends up not. I think it'd be cool.
Here's the thing about McQueen, which I'm honestly not like big on McQueen in the way I'm probably supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's just because I haven't watched a lot of Steve McQueen movies.
Same.
But when he at the end says, I have a confession, I've escaped from Yuma, we all go, yeah, you have. Yeah. No prison can keep Steve McQueen in.
That's right.
Every dude is just cheering because of Papillon and The Great Escape. We're like, that's right. No cage can hold McQueen. So I do actually like that's a thing. Like that. Oh, guys, I don't hate
He's the guy who gets out.
And he's cool. He is Mr. Cool.
He is
That's
Mr.
version
Cool.
of
Yeah.
Ben Wade is Mr. Cool guy. If he's a bad guy, he's also gonna draw naked women like Leo DiCaprio.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna just be like, yeah, okay, no, I like it. He's gonna be a cultured villain.
Interesting.
I think it'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, I'm in.
I'm countering with one of the biggest names of the 70s.
Okay.
He is in a movie that, and I'm going to really read into how Cory feels about it. Cory, I'm giving you Jack Nicholson. He's in a movie with Marlon Brando this year called The Missouri Breaks, also a Western, but it seems more lighthearted, kind of goofy as opposed to what we're going for here. It seems like every Western that he's kind of labeled with, like Going South and stuff, it's more like it's leans into comedy or it's lighthearted. So I would love to see Jack Nicholson in an actual serious Western. And I think for all reasons stated, like I think Jack Nicholson can lean into it. He can play into his more creepy side, he can play into his more charismatic side when needed, and you're gonna believe when he's like, "I would have shot you, kid," kind of stuff.
Yeah, I could see Jack Nicholson in that character as well.
So the
You know
question
how I
is,
feel about Jack Nicholson.
I do.
The thing is this, Nicholson has kind of a horrible Western run.
He does.
He
He's never been in a
didn't
great
choose
Western.
Good Westerns.
Yeah.
And I have only seen little pieces of Missouri Breaks. It's Marlon Brando looks
Weird.
so damn
Yeah.
ridiculous in his wardrobe.
He's got long hair and like clean shaven
He
face.
wears like white tasseled jacket. And
Very-
it looks like he's going to like 80s country prom.
It's very strange.
And
Yeah.
it takes you out of it for sure.
It's not what you expect when you think of
my.
Brando and Nicholson like Western.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
This is the opposite of our previous
Because Brando
choices
in
for
the
Ali.
movie, he's like the Charlie Prince. He's been hired. He's like going to get. He's like the guy on the mission to get.
Okay.
He's supposed to be the dangerous guy, though I think technically the good guy because
Yeah.
Nicholson's the horse thief. But like, it's part of me like questions: can Nicholson make a good Western?
Because he's not. We're trying to help him.
Or is it more
Yes.
like he's just chosen bad Western?
I think he's just chosen bad ones. I think for every good movie he's in the 70s, he just has a bad Western right around the corner.
You've both nailed this. It's like,
What?
yeah, you both nailed it. Like, it's just like both really good. I can't think of a better person. Because I didn't actually have a back pocket one for this. I knew I was gonna do the Jodie Foster.
He knew what
bomb.
he was doing.
I knew I was gonna
He
blow
planned
up.
this.
Yeah. I was just maybe hoping one of you would play the Jodie Foster bomb, and I wouldn't have to. Cowards. I just think I'm gonna go Nicholson.
That's fair.
But it's not because I'm a Nicholson mark.
Okay.
I do think that you have to have the unhinged edge.
Yes.
Whereas Steve McQueen, we just know he's going to turn at the end. We know we anticipate
It's going to play
the
a bit
good guy.
too much
Yeah.
like the old one. Okay,
Yeah,
I see
we
what you're saying.
That's fair.
anticipate him turning at the end and being
Yeah.
good.
And when Nicholson,
Again, the whole time we're like, he may not get on that train.
and
Yeah.
when Nicholson gets those guns from Charlie Prince,
Yeah.
from Travolta,
Yeah.
and they have that stare down real quick,
Oh.
he's going to take them all out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun for
Ooh, I
Jack
like
Nicholson
that.
to like give the rub to Sam Elliott for
sure.
a big role, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I like this.
This is fun. This is a good one.
This is a good one. All right, I'm going to read the cast from bottom and top. But I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, we're a theoretical podcast, so don't yell at us, people. This isn't actually happening. Return to Yuma is
it's
still in
happening.
2007, and the 70s are still intact. But I do question, because we always, this is all based on that game all movie lovers play of like, ooh, what if this person played this person, I think this casting would actually have the most damage to the timeline than any cast we've ever done.
You're not wrong.
And it's not just the Jodie Foster thing. I just want to point out, I mean, yes, I have left a crater in the mid-70s. But I think there's a lot that actually, like... Okay, well, let's read it. All right, coming in with Emma Nelson, we have Faye Dunaway. All right.
Nice.
Tucker, the very psychopathic dude, played by Ed Lauder, perfectly, who plays a good psychopath. Zeke... Luke Wilson's part is being played by Jack Palance. Byron McElroy will be played by John Wayne.
On his way out.
Doing a twofer in his last year in Hollywood here. Doc Potter will be played by Michael Palin. Yes, damn it, that's good. Alice Evans will be played by Sally Field. Grayson Butterfield will be played by a relatively unknown Harrison Ford, before going on to huge fame.
Yes.
Charlie Prince also being played by a relatively unknown John Travolta before he dances his way
TV
into
star
our
John Travolta.
light-floored hearts. William Evans will be played by Jodie Foster. Wilma Evans will be played by Evans will be played by Jodie Foster in a brilliant rewrite of this movie.
Jeez.
Dan Evans will be played by Sam Elliott, and Ben Wade will be played by Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that works.
This is
solid.
I like it.
It's super well rounded. I don't think we're necessarily off the mark anywhere other than like, yeah, I think this has real repercussions in the 70s.
Yeah, potentially.
I think you have to have it come out before the Shootist. I think that's the thing. John Wayne's only going to agree to it if the Shootist comes out after, because that's his swan song.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Or it comes out second and people are less hard on Bruce Dern.
Hey,
They're
maybe
like,
it might change.
It's John Wayne.
Well, he died twice this year.
Oh, crap. Now they're just mad at Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's career just plummets. Oh, no. I told you we have done some...
What have we done?
Oh, no.
He doesn't make The Shining.
Bruce Dern
It's not the
and
Joker.
Jack Nicholson are just blacklisted for years. All of those Oscar nominations just gone. Oh, wow. He doesn't have a front seat at the Oscars anymore.
The Lakers games.
Oh, man.
Gone.
Yeah. Gone. Sorry, Jack.
It's all right.
That man will die any day now, and I will go into a hole and not come out for weeks. I miss Jack Nicholson. I wish he would at least show us that he's okay.
He was at a Lakers game not
He
long
was
ago.
recently, because it was a big deal. People were like, hey, Jack, he's
alive.
He's alive.
He's okay.
He's functioning. He's going to be the one that reads at the Oscars next year.
Yes. Oscars. Kimmel, we know you're
Make
listening.
it happen.
Get Jack
We know-
Nicholson
secret big
out
fan,
there.
yeah.
We need to see it. So, all right. Well, that was 310 to Yuma, done in 1976. I think we got Jodie Foster an Oscar. Possibly ruined Nicholson's career, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's
Somebody had to
fine.
kill John Wayne.
If nothing else, if you haven't watched 310 to Yuma, go watch it. It's great. It's
Absolutely.
wonderful,
Yeah.
but you are weird for listening to the whole podcast before seeing it. I don't even know how this was entertaining for
I mean,
you. But
you do you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you
fine.
do you.
It's fine. We're judging you silently. Just don't text us or social media saying like we're stupid if you haven't seen it. So that's all. That's all we ask.
Right.
But yes, check us out on all the social medias. Hit us up on TikTok before it's gone forever.
At Quantum Recast.
At Quantum Recast on all of it. Tell us what you loved about it, who you would cast, and go watch Ghostbusters 2. Say goodnight, Nick.
Good night, Nick.